What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another installment of your favorite 3-hour-long news podcast, Chelsea-related thingy that you like to enjoy. Big up to our starting panel of CP and Real Chicken Nugget Chris, as well as myself, Marshall DBDX. Hopefully you guys have been doing well. I know it's been a while since we've done a Casually Chelsea show, and I know it's the bread and butter of the channel, and some of you guys look forward to this and putting it in your background while you're working and all that fun stuff. And I do apologize that I have been working. I have also been catching up with work. I took a break, and it's been a matter of catching up pretty much a lot in the last week, 2 weeks. I'm pretty much caught up. We have pretty much 2 shows set up, but I'm only going to do one of the shows today because there's a lot to talk about and a lot of things to go over that I haven't touched on in the channel, which some of you guys are going to already know is old news. So before we start, go ahead, smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel, let us know what you think in the comments down below. Check out the links in the description, as there's plenty of content there for you guys to check out and support some of the panelists that are on this channel. And also be sure to check out memberships, because there's 4 different tiers starting at 99p, and at the first tier you can get some cool, like, you know, emojis and stuff like that. But yeah, check out those tiers, different perks for every single one of them, and plenty of cool stuff to look into. So let's go ahead and start off today's show with the first topic that I have for you guys, which you guys probably already know about, but we're going to touch on it here on the show, and that is the new Cucurella contract. I think very much deserved contract as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and touch on this topic right here, starting off with the first tweet I have, and that's going to be this one right here from Fabrizio Romano. This was reported August 6th. As exclusively revealed, Chelsea will now offer deal to Marco Cucurella as talks will advance soon. Cucurella happy at Chelsea, and club very happy with Mark. He is staying despite links to Al Nassr. And then we continue here, and that's the links, obviously, that Cristiano Ronaldo wanted Cucurella at the club, right? And then Fabrizio Romano also saying here, August 15th, which is a week ago, Chelsea have now completed the agreement with Mark Cucurella over a new deal, seen as key player on the pitch, leader off the pitch, and really important for the present and future. New contract is signed and sealed by Cucurella, which is good to see, because yeah, he's a good player. Is definitely a player that we want to keep, a senior player, and it's good to see that the club aren't quickly in a rush to get rid of these players when they do hit their prime. We're not just young investment FC, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Chris, let's go ahead and get your opinion and thoughts on this while I fix my mic.
No, honestly, like yeah, he's like, what, 27, 28? Like, we want to do that extension on him. He's like a lead, like you said, a leader. He's part of that spine. To me, I see as Chelsea's spine as him, Reece James, Caicedo, Enzo, and Cole Palmer as our spine. And he was one of our most important players last season. To me, he's probably top 2 last season as the best players. Like him, it's honestly between him or Caicedo. They was brilliant. He was always consistent, either defending or even helping going forward, like crashing to the box or just creating or whatever. But yeah, like he's been unreal since like even Pochettino, I would say. Like when Pochettino will obviously keep him on bench, but he started playing at right back or left back or whatever, and you can see it. And even for the international, he was unreal for Spain. So yeah, like I think it's a no-brainer. Obviously, put him on that extension, and Chelsea done that. I don't know what pay rise he got, but like whatever pay rise he gets, deserves. If it's 250, deserved. If it's like 270, deserved. He's one of the most important players.
Do we actually know how much the pay rise is?
I don't know actually. I've not seen or looked, but when was this report? August 15th. Yeah, I've not.
This was last week. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like. I think like keep him for another at this club. Like if he keeps at this level anyway, like for another 4 or 5 years, like he can do it. I think he doesn't rely on, like, he's not like exactly one of those left backs relying on pace like heavily. he reads the game well. He passes well. He can shoot. He can do anything in that left back position in a way. So he can play in that midfield role pretty good as well. So, yeah, I'm happy. Obviously, he's one of my favorite players at the club. The last couple of years, he's really stepped up for Chelsea.
Top 3?
Right now, yes.
Yeah. In the current squad, yeah.
Yes, without a doubt. Like he is like top 3. Like there's not even a question on it. I don't think there's even a debate like who even bumps him out of top 3. But yeah, he's really become like into his form. I don't even remember at Brighton. He was good, but when he joined Chelsea, like he took a bit of like he had a good start at Chelsea like the first couple of months, then he had a bit of a dip and. I remember the tonsils, like he was losing weight at one point. Like he's going through issues as well, and he went through an injury at one point. He's just going through like a lot of issues like that, and he had a bit of a dip in form, and it was questioned.
Didn't he get robbed too, if I remember correctly?
Robbed?
Yeah, didn't his house get broken into, or I know Aubameyang did. I don't remember if he was one of them. I think he did too.
I'm not too sure, but maybe.
Chat, if you remember, let us
know. This
know.
Happens to footballers too often, and it's just a sad reality.
We never got Reece James's.
No, like I know, yeah, that was petty. That was as well. But yeah, like he went through that down period, but now he's like picked up a lot and became one of our most important players. And yeah, like we paid 50 million for this guy, but yeah, like it's definitely worth every penny. I think it's 50 million we paid for him anyway. Couldn't speak of enough good words about this guy. There's nothing negative I can say about him. Unless you bring in Ahmed, maybe there's some negativities, but.
No, of course, that's Ahmed.
Nah, Ahmed's admitted he's lost a war on Cucurella, at least.
Has he admitted it? I haven't heard it.
I think
proof.
I swear he's admitted it. Like he's shown a white flag with it because he knows how good this guy is. Like he beat Ahmed, man. He beat Ahmed. That's how good he is. He beat Ahmed with gender.
All right. If you say so. I don't recall seeing this, but yeah, he did get robbed. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so he's been through a lot ever since he's moved into London, and obviously, anyone with a brain and a heart can be a little bit compassionate. I understand these footballers do get paid a lot of money, and it's very easy to disassociate them. Whoa, it's very easy to disassociate them from the common man. But Cucurella, you're gonna make me cry. Oh my God, you're such a great player. You've grown so much. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. He drinks estrella, he eats paella, his hair is messy. Cucurella coming to the rescue right there. I needed a little breather right there. But yeah, like he's proven and really stepped up to the plate, which we appreciate as Chelsea fans. We obviously I know when it comes to Chelsea, it is a hard environment to, just walk in and be liked. A few players have come in. Drogba, for example, one that comes to mind that wasn't necessarily liked tremendously by the fan base, but over the course of time, as performances improved and he has improved with the times, like it's shown that like you can acquire the respect of the fan base. In due time. So, yeah, I only wish the best for Cuckoo and hope more great games to come as well. I mean, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Chris.
I think I said a lot about it, but yeah, like, he's got years ahead of him. I can see it. I don't see him dropping off.
He's 27, right?
That's what I was saying. I think he's like about 27 years old, and he's become.
I think he's just
turned. He's getting to his peak age. I think this is his peak age, and. Like his top form, obviously, but yeah, I can see at least like 2 to 3 years at least at top level, being one of the best left backs in the world, if not best left back. That's up to debate for sure, but yeah, like I remember us almost close, not selling to Man United, but loaning to Man United.
Loan him out, yeah.
Under that Poch season, I don't know what went wrong, but something broke down and it didn't happen.
Poch was dumb and accidentally. Well, I don't know if he did it accidentally, but he played him in a tournament. And as a result of the was it Carabao Cup? I think it was Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
He played him in a Carabao Cup, and that cup tied him. Yeah. So we weren't able to sell him, which one of the good things Poch did.
He did it by accident.
I am not a clown.
Okay, so we're not going to give him credit at all.
That was it. He wanted to play Colwill at left back, and he said, "I don't have any room for Cucurella," and we were begging for an actual left back, and he played Chilwell at left wing, and he did play Cucurella right back, and guess what? He cooked on the right back area because he's actually a good player and he's a good defender, and he knows what he's doing on the ball. Like, and I just couldn't understand why this manager, who's actually experienced and got Tottenham to a Champions League final, and he's been around, couldn't understand like this guy's actually a good left back, and he just didn't see it until very later on.
Well, I think it's because the legs, right? Or are you talking about Cucurella?
Cucurella, I don't know who you said.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
No, I'm talking about he played Chilwell at left wing. He played literally left backs every other position but the left back area, and he played a centre back at left back. This is why I didn't like Poch as well. This is one of the reasons I didn't like him. He was doing too many stupid things like that. It was like close to reminding me of like AVB as well in a sense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like it's maybe a little too experimental, but I mean, yeah, I wasn't a fan of it. We could all tell that it wasn't working, and he was very insistent on doing that, which it hampered the team a lot. So yeah, it was frustrating. I get it, but now he's gone, and I'm glad that. We've even seen Levi Colwill, for example, improve tremendously in the recent under Maresca.
The season which also he was most of it like very good, or like he had a little bit of down period at one point when Fofana went, and it was hard like to partner him up with another centre back. But yeah, like Colwill's been a lot better centre back. Surprise, surprise! You play a fucking defender in his right position, and they do well.
Who would have thought? Logic
Not
trumped.
No.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no. Kudos to Cucurella. Obviously, when we get the details of the contract, we'll go over it here on the channel. I'm sure we'll get those details soon. Bear with me, people, as I am still like adjusting the show as we're going on the channel. So if I do seem a little distracted, that is in part why, because we're multitasking here on Casually FC because we can. And I think Curry Pirate just came on, so I would like his input as well on the Cucurella thing. Yeah, he is here. CP, welcome back. Your thoughts on Cucurella getting a new contract?
He deserves every bit of money he gets. Super happy for him in general.
Do you happen to know if they disclosed the amount and all that stuff?
I think we lost him.
No, I don't think so. People are saying it's hovering around 200K.
That's fine. I'm happy with that. I'm fine with that. 200K for Cucurella. He's had 2 seasons of pretty consistent form now. Ever since the tail end of the pod season, he's been on the up and up. So I'm more than glad to give him that, especially since he's also stepped up.
I feel like he deserves a little bit more, but 200K is still a lot.
Really?
I think he's became one of the most big players, like top 3 in our team, and he's not getting any younger.
A pretty handsome.
Like I said, it's 200K is like obviously great, but like I don't know, 250 like Reese or something. Like he's always here, he's always consistent, and he's one of Chelsea's most important players as well. So I
mean, you never know at the rate of this club.
Yeah,
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, they might give him like I think you were supposed to say maybe like another year extension or something, and then give him a little bit of a bump. But yeah,
but just offer him another contract because we seem to offer good players contracts at the end of every year. He
can join Arsenal when he's 35 or something, maybe.
Maybe. Knowing Arsenal's track record, yeah, maybe actually. But all right, cool. I mean, good on Cucurella. Let's actually move on to the next segment I got for you guys because I am going to try to keep it moving as there's so many segments I got to go through. Let's talk about some finances. And honestly, it's fascinating to see.
I love finances.
Do you? Is this sarcasm?
This is sarcasm, yes.
All right, well, I think you're going to be impressed with some of the things I have for you here, Chris and CP. Because it's actually impressive to see what is actually going on at Chelsea in terms of the money incoming, and it's unbelievable. All right, let's get into it. So first things first, sponsorship stuff and partnerships. So Chelsea Football Club today announces a new multi-year partnership with Champions Travel and Travel Connection, who will serve as the club's exclusive official hospitality travel partner. That's nice. Also, global analytics software company FICO has teamed up with Chelsea and will work with the club as its U.S. regional partner in a multi-year deal. FICO was a primary official partner of the club's preseason tour in the U.S. in 2023-2024, as is, my banner back here is a little FICO thing you can see, the flag, not the banner. Though the partnership, Chelsea and FICO will champion the importance of financial literacy through several partnerships, initiatives, and engage in consumers in the U.S. through the ever-expanding power and influence of football, which that sounds nice. Let's get to the nitty-gritty, all right? So Chelsea are aiming to secure a long-term front of shirt sponsorship worth £60 million to £65 million a season, with Saudi airline Riyadh Air being strongly linked. A season.
Oh,
So that's how much it's going to be worth a season.
Yeah.
And then we continue on. Chelsea have allocated a fund of £11.4 million to be distributed equally between the players who represented Enzo Maresca's side during the Club World Cup. Another thing I wanted to mention, which I never got a chance to mention, was that Chelsea will use a portion of the Club World Cup bonuses paid to players to make a financial donation to the family of Diogo Jota and Andre Silva. Obviously, to mourn the passing of these players that unfortunately passed away in a freak accident. I never really got to say anything on this, but it's a shame that what happened to Jota at such a young age, especially his younger brother as well. And obviously, best wishes go to his family. And it's great to see that Chelsea, even though Liverpool are rivals, are still willing to put rivalry aside and actually donate to a good cause, which is to help, the family of Jota ease the pain of the passing by, helping at least not worry about the financial aspect of things. So this is not a really great gesture from Chelsea, and they didn't even need to do this. So big up to Chelsea and Blueco for doing this. We continue on. So I added this to some of the finance. This is transfer news, but it helps Chelsea. So Nottingham Forest are in the process of agreeing a £37.5 million fee. This was a week ago, so it's probably already done with Ipswich and Omari Hutchinson. Chelsea included a sell-on clause of 25% for Omari Hutchinson in deal with Ipswich. Chelsea will make £9.4 million as a £25 million sell-on fee if Omari Hutchinson completes a 37 point. You see, Chris, I told you this is going to be interesting. 37.5 million pound move for Ipswich to Nottingham Forest. And this is pretty much the here we go. Yeah, it did get done, and I have the tweet here. So yeah, we're gonna get the 9.4 million.
Did we buy
pounds.
Hutchinson, by the way, or was it?
We bought him on a free, and then we ended up selling him to Ipswich. We loaned him, and then we sold him to Ipswich last season. So last season he was on loan, and this summer we sold him.
Fair dues to Ipswich as well, and like 37 million for.
Actually, no, I'm sorry, I got this mixed up. We loaned him the Pochettino season, sold him last season to Ipswich, and now Ipswich are selling him to Nottingham Forest this season.
I mean, these sell-on clauses, we've been seeing that a lot lately for Chelsea.
Oh, we're going to talk about sell-on clauses. Look, we're going to talk.
Chelsea are like quite clever with this, because I see like it happens, like it's quite rare. It doesn't really happen here and there, but like Chelsea have been making sure this happens to a lot of players who we move who are quite young anyway. So like getting 9.4 million. I don't know how much we sold into Ipswich. Like how much did we sell him for 4.2 million?
No. We sold it for 20 million.
Yeah. Oh, we sold him for 20. Okay.
Yeah. So this is an updated version of the tweet. Chelsea will pocket roughly £4.25 million, which is still profit regardless, from the sale of Omari Hutchinson to Forest. This is because they get 25% of the profit made on the player by Ipswich. Signed him for free from Arsenal, sold him for 20 million, and now this total profit is 24 million pounds is what we made from Omari Hutchinson on a free, bro.
Damn.
Like, this club is so impressive when it comes to selling, and you'll understand, chat, why it's been so impressive, because we're going to talk about a lot of sales in the show. We continue on, like we revealed here, the 25% selling clause.
Sales or buys at Chelsea the last 3 years?
Wait, what?
Do we talk about sales or buys at Chelsea more the last 3 years? Which one do we talk about?
Well, last season we talked a lot about buys. This season, it's been a lot of sales. Yeah, because that's how we bloated our squad, Chris.
I thought it was the season before that, maybe, because we only bought like
that too.
Because I thought like we only bought like I remember like Neto and like getting Sancho on that loan, Felix, I guess.
We didn't sell that much last season. We sold more the season before. Actually, we sold more the January window. Like I think the most we sold prior to this window was the January window where we had Graham Potter, and we sold a lot of players in that window. Yeah. But anyways, going back on topic here, the club with the worst net spend in Europe this window. And this was as of about 2 weeks ago. So take it a little bit with a pinch of salt. Not even a pinch of salt. Just keep in mind that this amount has probably been updated a bit, especially with Arsenal. Arsenal probably top it now. I don't know if United have gotten another signing since Mbuemo. But Arsenal have gotten another signing. And I think Arsenal's net spend is now higher than United. So Arsenal is probably first on this list if I were to update it. Yeah, especially with the Eze thing.
FFP.
I'm saying, man, like
no trophies for Arsenal last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the money coming from?
We'll continue on. Income from player sales this summer. And again, guys, this is a little outdated now because we've just made more sales and it needs to be updated. But Chelsea has spent approximately £240 million on new players this summer, but have already recouped half of the total by moving on eight unwanted players, which is, I think now like 11 unwanted players at this point. We've moved out a whole entire starting 11 at this point. Selling the likes of Nani Madueke, João Pedro, Georgie Petrovic has brought an approximate £129 million into the club, more than any Premier League side. Just on this as of 4th August. Yeah, just on, I think, this window in general. Yeah, it's this summer window. We continue on. Chelsea's incomings top versus their outgoing second is below. I think the updated number, ladies and gents, is that we are £20 million away from a net zero spend this window. Actually, right here, August 14th, there's optimism in Chelsea that this summer transfer business incomings and outgoings will be close to a net zero. And I think it's a possibility. Yeah, actually, it should be a net zero because if we sell more players, we're at net 20 right now, I believe, give or take. If we sell the rest of the players we're linked to sell, and then we bring in Garnacho and all these other players, Xavi, that we're actually linked to, then we should be at a net zero or very close to a net zero. Let me just make sure I don't have any more tweets regarding finances. But yeah, it's really impressive to see how much money Chelsea have generated in this window. And all this about player hoarding and all this stuff that people were like bashing Chelsea for in the last 3 windows. It's now, you're now seeing the long-term plan, people. And you're now seeing the amount of profits that we're generating despite, and I need to remind people, despite not having a stadium capable of hosting 65,000 plus bodies to get revenue from as well. No sponsor as well. That's another very impressive thing. Just imagine adding a sponsor to it. I wouldn't be surprised, people, if at the end of this transfer window, we actually have a net positive in terms of transfers, which is ridiculous because we've revamped the team, gotten rid of a lot of the extra players, the bloat, and we still have players that we can get rid of in the future. And yet we still made profit without a front of shirt, without a stadium. You got to give kudos to the directors when it's given. Like, this is impressive. Axe, UEFA isn't counting some of the sales, and that is correct. Yeah, he's right. The sales that are going to count are the players that were in the roster for the Conference League. So Veiga counts towards that.
No. It's the knockout stages for the Conference League. That's why sales like Veiga don't even count. Felix doesn't count.
Veiga wasn't a knockout.
No, he wasn't. We
he played against Astana.
No, we loaded him to Juventus, brother. Same with Felix, Milan.
But he was part of the roster in the group stages.
I mean, yeah, Felix played knockouts. I'm pretty sure.
Group stages doesn't count. They're counting the knockout stages roster. That's why Veiga's now counting. That's why Felix is. That's why the sales of Nkunku and Jackson are so important. Because
Yeah,
I
I really want to try
understand.
one of them too, at
Nkunku
least.
basically pays for Garnacho if we rate him at 25 to 30 million, and then Jackson basically pays for Xavi Simmons. That's why those two are so important to us.
I understand. I understand. I mean, while you're there, CP, what do you think about all the financial stuff happening? Obviously, we're going to touch on Veiga a little later on the show, but you can obviously include that sell-on clause as well as Omari. We're going to talk about a few more other sales as well. I mean, in terms of profit and net profit and just how the club are moving financially, what do you think about what's going on with the club right now?
I don't know what to say fully. Like, I'm impressed by the sales, but the reason why we're in this predicament with the whole one in, one out is because of how they bought. Like, they still did hoard and buy too many, because that's why UEFA sanctioned us.
Sure.
The sanction's not on the Roman era. This is on the Bully era. So that's the thing. That's why now, even though overall it's very impressive, and overall we're gonna be way, like you said, way in the green. That's why we're struggling with. That's why the Xavi Simmons deal hasn't been done, is because we basically have to get Jackson out or Nkunku out, and others. Like that's the thing. Like, even today's report said we basically need to sell, loan, or buying 13 players before the end of the window.
13 more or 13 in total? What did you read?
13 in total. That's including buying players.
Yeah.
So the 2 we're gonna buy. So that's 11 left. So basically, the 11 players we have to loan or sell.
Okay.
Like,
and how do you feel the likelihood of that is to happen?
I don't think that's gonna happen. I think you
Really?
can get I think you can get 7 out of 11. I don't think you can get the 11. Like, I can see Carney's probably going. Okay, cool. Jackson has lots of interest. That's 2. Anselmino loan, fine. We got Nkunku interest. Either we're gonna loan or some shit, right?
Think of Scott.
So I think we can get maybe 7, but some of the others are gonna be difficult. Like, Sterling's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Chilwell's not going anywhere. Badiashiel's injured, so not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I think we can get 7 loans / sales maybe, but
I mean, we kind of have 11 already.
No,
Sales.
we get 11 more from today, from what
Jesus
was
fuck.
done today. That's the thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be likely then.
Yeah. That's
Chris, how do you feel about the finances right now? Do you think it was intentional, or do you think we're just, like CP saying, still fixing up from the mistakes we made in the past?
I mean, yeah, like I do think we are like trying to fix up on those mistakes. Like, for example, in Nkunku, we've gone for 60 million. We thought it was a steal at the time, obviously, but then we realized it's not really working out at Chelsea. He did get that injury, right? So we still gave him that time. But like this season alone, like he's been at times lazy and just not working hard enough for the manager. And you can clearly see the manager, and you can see like the manager doesn't rate him as highly as other players, obviously. And if we can get like 30-40 million for him, that'd be great, because we do need to move these players to get CP said. We need to move in Nkunku, Jackson. I don't know who else like we really have to move. Like, we don't have to move. We've moved a lot of players right now, so I'm trying to think like there's only a few more players we have to move. But I'm thinking top of my head, like I can't. I'd like to move. Like, obviously, we haven't moved to Sarcasm yet, have we?
No, not yet.
Nope.
No, so I would like to move some extra, like even Disasi, Badiashile, I would like to move him, and then move in another centre back to get into the club, because I think we do need another centre back, and them two like taking wages and being that position is not gonna help us bringing centre back in anyway, and we've got a few injury prone players in that area right now, injured players, let's say that. But yeah, I think that's what it is. I do agree with a lot of what CP said and you said. So yeah.
Scott, just to kind of catch you up on what we were talking about, we kind of went over the finances of the club and the fact that we're nearing a net zero transfer window in terms of player sales and incomings. I was kind of wondering what your opinion is on that. And CP mentioned that although it's, impressive to an extent, it still seems like it wasn't fully intentional. There were mistakes made there, and those mistakes are going to potentially cost us a future in Europe, considering UEFA and FFP situation that's happening, and the fact that we have to get rid of Conference League players. I mean, I kind of want to hear where you stand on this whole situation.
I kind of agree. Like, I think some of the business we've done has been a mistake, but we have managed to rectify it in certain areas. I think of like Felix, for example. I'm trying like Dewsbury Hall. I think we ended up making like our money back, things like that. We have made, I think, some mistakes in other areas just in terms of not getting as much money as we could. Like, I think selling Cassidy for basically what you bought him for is just shit business. Like, considering he was here for 3 years, I think, or 2 years. He was here for 3 years, had 2 loans, which seemed good. Obviously, you cancelled one for no reason, and then you sold him for what you bought him. Just that's shit business in my mind. But then we've obviously made money on certain players, made money on Veiga, made money on Angelo, Hutchinson. There's more that I'm probably blanking on at this moment in time. Yeah, we did actually make money on Petrovic. So yeah, I think that's fair. We obviously are in a little bit of trouble in a sense of like the whole UEFA thing. I don't know how that's going to affect us.
I'm hearing rumors that there's a risk, right, that we could get banned from Europe.
I don't think we get banned. I think we end up, based on the report I saw, we'd end up with a smaller squad. So we would just lose registration spots. So instead of having a 25-man squad, we'd have like a 22-man. I don't know what the number is. I'm just as an example. The problem with that is, and we've spoken about this before. I've spoken about this before on Lewis's channel. I don't know if I've spoken about it on here. We are at the. If we buy everyone we're trying to buy, we're at the 25-man limit, and sell everyone we meant to sell. I'll point out as well. So there isn't really anyone you can cut out from that Champions League squad where you're not potentially having it. Well, outside of like a Sugo, you could, but then like kind of a pointless transfer. Outside of that, there's no one I can think of that you can cut that you're not going to end up potentially having an issue of like, why are they here, sort of thing. Because like you're not going to cut Garnacho or Simmons. Like they're not coming here to just chill on the bench or to not play in the Champions League. You're not doing. I don't see us doing that with a centre back. Like again, you can. I just think like just sell them then.
God, can't we do that with Lavia? I'm only thinking because remember how we can the registration opens up again in January. So my thought process is Lavia is always injured, right? If he's healthy, we can after the group stages. If Badiashile is healthy, we can sell off Badiashile in January, and that can open up the Lavia spot, right? That's what my thought process.
Potentially, but then like, potentially. The only thing is you can only add 3 players, and the issue we've had in the past, and the issue, the problem with that, I think you can 100%. The only issue I'd have with that is if there comes a point where we need to reinforce in January, which I think there may be, depending on the whole situation with the centre backs, then all of a sudden that's one spot gone that where you have to register Lavia. Of the 3 you can use. Like, it's not a massive issue, but I'm just saying it could end up being an issue down the line. Obviously, we're not going to have Colwill, but I expect his position will be taken by someone in the squad, like a new centre-back, I hope. Or potentially Saar or whatever the fuck is happening with that. So who knows? Like, it's a bit of a weird one. So yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen there. I'm just got to wait and see, I think, to see who is registered. So we know Colwill isn't, but outside that, I've got no idea who else isn't going to be registered. Of the ones that obviously should be, I mean.
Yeah, actually, since we're on that topic, let me, as I'm kind of prepping it right now, let me go ahead and let's actually move on to, I know we've spoken about this to an extent as well in previous shows, but I figured this isn't news to anyone really at this point. Everyone already knows about it, but we never really got to have a full discussion on the topic. And I haven't changed my mind, but I have new perspectives to bring to the table. And honestly, it's great timing that Scott joined, because I would like to ask Scott a few questions as well, just to pick his brain, and also you guys as well, and on your thoughts on where you stand on this. And I think most people are in favor to, buy a center back. But let's talk about the Colwill injury. This did happen while I was away, so think of this as like a kind of a way for me to like kind of catch up and just get in the loop here and have a little bit of discussion and some nuance on this topic. So let's go ahead and start off with this first tweet. Obviously, this happened a few weeks ago, so bear that in mind, people. This is old news for some of you, but let's wrap it into what's currently happening, right? So Colwill injured at the end of the first session on Tuesday. Scans already done, but club waiting on results. Maresca outlines the importance of Colwill in his answer about Jarell Hato. He started all but 3 PL games last season. Okay, that's a totally different thing. Chelsea fear that Levi Colwill could miss more than just the start of the season. Chelsea could look at bringing in a center back this month if the fears are confirmed over Levi Colwill. Now, that was recorded as of August 7th from Kieran Gill. And then Fabrizio confirmed pretty much, and I'm sure other platforms and journals confirmed, that Levi Colwill has suffered an ACL injury and will be out for the majority of next season. He suffered an anterior cruciate ligament injury at the end of his first training session back and has since had scanned, followed by a surgery. So I guess surgery has been done. I'm assuming surgery went well. So Colwill is out for a good portion, if not all of the following season. So Chelsea have not activated immediate emergency plan to sign new center back after Levi Colwill injury. Club has full trust in current squad. Also, with Jarell Hato joining last week, able to play center back and left back. Continuing on, Maresca came on a presser and said the following. He insists on a new center back. In a sense, he said this without having said it. Fofana played 45 minutes in the middle of a 3 and one of the worst half from us. And I think that was Bournemouth he was referring to. Excuse me. And then Badiashile, Conference League final, first half, losing 1-0. We changed him with Levi and won 4-1. It's not the same. The one in the middle is so important. Now, I don't have the tweet, but yesterday's press conference, or actually earlier today's press conference, Maresca came out and iterated that he's going to try to find internal solutions because he was asked about the center back situation again today. Achimpong, Ben Jacobs saying that Achimpong, the situation with him is complicated as Chelsea value him and genuinely think he's not too far off from being a serious player for the club. Bournemouth already made an inquiry and said they were very serious about making a bid. It was shut down 2 weeks ago. Bournemouth are desperate to sign Achimpong, a club source said. We have held talks and made our intentions very clear, but it's a bit difficult because Chelsea want to do a dry loan because they don't want to lose him. Now, this was recorded a week ago. And I think that's obviously when we've got more developments of the Levi Colwill situation. City and Bournemouth, who had recently a loan inquiry rebuffed, are interested in signing Achimpong, but Chelsea are expected to reject any moves. Enzo Maresca is adamant that he does not want to lose Achimpong, according to Guardian Sport. Achimpong won the love of Enzo Maresca in last season's Conference League campaign and looks ready to shoulder greater responsibility this season. That's coming from The Athletic. There's also people at the club who believe Achimpong can do the job, Colwill's role, if given more opportunities and experience. That's coming from Liam Tomey in The Athletic. People at Chelsea believe Achimpong is capable of doing the center back role, with Badiashile also demonstrating his ability to progress the ball from central areas at times. And bringing it to Badiashile as well, it is understood that Benoit is due to return to action at the beginning of September, and he continues his recovery from injury. We also have here from Ben Jacobs, Badiashile is starting to have, I think, a lot more support within Chelsea, that his development is not just on track, but he's ready to play in the Premier League games and be consistent, which I hope is the case. We continue on to the last tweet I have on this. Benoit is regarded as close to equivalent talent to Colwill, with a very similar profile when he was acquired from Monaco in January 2023, which I'm not going to disagree with that. I think that Benoit is close to a profile that we get from Colwill. We've just not seen that player, and I think a good part of why we've not seen that player is the injuries, right? You're not having consistent game time to find a rhythm, to get into form, to adapt to Maresca's system. And obviously, we're not going to see the best of you when you're not there consistently enough. Now, I'll leave this to the panel. I'll start off with Scott. Now, we did have a bit of a debate on this already, and we talked about, and a lot of people agree with you, Scott. I am just of a different mindset that we need to sign a center back. Now, obviously, Achimpong, which you highly rate, which a lot of people in the fan base highly rate, is a player that the club, based on the tweets that we're seeing here, are heavily considering to fulfill that role and give a chance to. I guess with that being said, I'll start off with this for the panel. Do we think that Achimpong can actually fulfill that role and be a good placeholder until, at least for the rest of the season, or until Tosin and Badiashile are back and able to be consistent in this team?
No. Well, maybe, but it depends.
What's it depend on?
If Achimpong plays central centre-back, which I have no doubt he can do from a defensive point of view. You saw that against Mateta.
Yeah.
Dominate Mateta, literally, Mateta didn't really do anything. I don't doubt him defensively. I don't doubt him on either foot in terms of passing the ball, short passing wise. I don't have, well, most of the time I should say, I don't have either doubt of him driving with the ball. What I have doubt with is those line breaking passes that Colwill, but in particular Tosin does and plays central centre back, and that ability to dictate play from deep. If he's not going to do it, you can still make it work if one of two things happens. The goalkeeper starts doing that job. We don't have a good enough goalkeeper to do that in terms of with the ball at his feet. Or the midfield does that more, which that only happens when Lavi is in there. Unfortunately, because of the way unfortunately is the wrong word, but I don't know where I would say it. Unfortunately, because of the way the team is set up in the midfield, we don't see Caicedo do this anywhere near enough. That's not even to say he can't. We've not seen him be able to do it anywhere near enough because he just has never had to in this team, in this system. Enzo probably could do that role, but again, because the system has to play a lot further forward, we haven't seen him do that role for a very long time. We've seen Lavia do it. He can't stay fit. So that's what I'm saying. If Josh is going to play central centre-back, you have to find someone else to do the role that Colwill was providing for the team, and Tosin as well. We unfortunately have no one either fit or capable of doing that currently. That's why we need someone. And that's actually the second reason why we need someone. The first reason why we need someone is because the manager said we need someone. And ultimately, at the end of the day, after what he has given this football club in terms of proving all the doubters wrong last season, providing us 2 trophies, so we won about the Conference League, but 2 trophies, including one no one thought we would win. And you're fucking lying if you did. And proving that he can take players, at least a lot of players and most players, to a level most of us thought they couldn't get to. He deserves, after not asking for anything, by the way. Like, it'd be different if my man was doing maybe it'd be different. My man was doing a Conte every week, asking for this player and that player and this player. At some point, you have just got to deal with what you've got. He has never asked for anything publicly. It's the one player he's asked for because he doesn't have anyone that can do it. Even when Fofana comes back, he can't do it. I've said that from time. He didn't even have to give the game. I could have told you that because there was a game, the United game, when he played central centre-back for a moment. And when he lost and forget what he does on the ball. When he lost the ball, the flight of the ball, and it goes to Højlund, and then when we give away the penalty when Sanchez was a moron, Fofana was a false because he misses the flight of the ball. He can't play central centre-back. That's not saying he's shit as a centre-back. He just can't do that role because he wants to step forward into the midfield, which you can't do as a central centre-back. Like Achimpong. The difference with Achimpong is Achimpong seems to, and obviously it's very early for me to say this, but seems to be based on the Palace game, know when to step. Fofana doesn't, that's fine. He's a fantastic wide centre-back, that's cool. Badiashile could do it, can't stay fit. And he needs to leave in general after this Colwill thing. Pato, we have no idea. He's a complete new entity. So I'm not trusting him, Pato, from minute one. I need him to grow into it. That's unfair on him, that's unfair on the team. Especially considering what my personally, and I know a lot of Chelsea fans' aspirations are this season.
Yeah.
Who else am I missing? Obviously Tosin can do it. Chalobah can't do it. We've seen it. Like
No, Chalobah
again,
can't.
unfortunately,
He's not types in the back.
Yeah, unfortunately, the passing is an issue, and the bigger issue is, as you saw against Palace, is the thing on either foot. So, because Colwill doesn't necessarily have that, but he's so good with his left, he doesn't need to be good in his right. Tosin has both, so it kind of helps. So we need someone who's either so good on both feet that he can do it, or incredible on one foot that he can do it on his strong foot every time. So yeah, like I said, you could probably mold Josh into that, but it would take a long time, and you would then, as a Chelsea fan, have to temper your expectations of this season. If you're expecting Josh to be the central centre back that you mould long term, it's top 4, and maybe a domestic trophy. If you go and actually go and get a centre back, then you're looking at potentially title challenge, 1 or 2 domestic trophies, quarter semis of Champions League.
Chris, what are your thoughts? 'Cause it looked like you were going to say something.
No. I think Scott hit everything on the nail at that point, because I don't view Chalobah doing what Colwill does, sitting back, passing from the back, line breaking passes and stuff like that. Chalobah also likes to go forward as well, like Fofana does, or even Action Pong does that as well when he plays on the right side. The only ones I can see is who would do that is Badiashile. Because I do rate Badiashile's passing. I think it's pretty decent for him, but his defending is quite bad at times for me. But Tosin, I just don't know if I can rely on a lot of these centre backs to do it for the whole season and expect a lot from them, because I just don't. I feel like they're just squad players or just to be sold. And I felt like Colwill and Fofana or someone else should be on that right, even Chalobah on that right side. Because Colwill, this is why I feel like Colwill is so important to this Chelsea team, because I don't think anyone does it at this club like him, the way he does sitting back, and his passing ability as well, is really good. So, yeah, I think we should go for another defender. What does Colwill does, and yeah, I don't know. I think we should listen to the manager, because like Scott said, and I said before as well, he won you 2 trophies. He got you top 4. The club even said
he
later
deserves
on
to be back. Yeah,
they didn't expect to get top 4. I think they said as well. He beaten expectations by a mile, I think, this season. Obviously, we expected to win the Conference League. I think anybody expected Chelsea to do that, but not the Club World Cup. Oh no, we was expecting probably meet PSG in somewhere in the knockout stages, right? Because we were probably expecting to win most games.
Yeah, most people think we make it to the quarters, which is when we face PSG and lose.
Yeah, and just get knocked out. It's we expect this. This is Chelsea's not this amazing team yet, but and just the way Enzo Maresca spoke about the final, they said, "Oh, you're gonna expect not much of the ball in that type of setting." He says who or something like that. You don't know our game. You don't know our game plan. We could hold the ball, we can dominate them. There's something about Enzo Maresca I like that I really like about him, and I think he deserves it. Whatever he wants, defender, forward, or 10, in a sense, not go crazy on him, but if he wants a centre back or a 10, just 2 players or something, then I don't know. I think it's fair enough. But if you don't, I don't know. If you don't get him a centre back who can do what Colwill can do, then we're going to struggle this season. I think I can see it. It's like that Crystal Palace game when I heard we lost, obviously Colwill, that was before, but then we lost Tosin. I thought we'd draw before the game 2-2 or 1-1 or something. I thought we conceded, in all fairness, but in all fairness, Action Pong did really well defensively, and even Sanchez did that one good save when they had that one chance. But we held a 0-0 draw. But I didn't expect a lot from that game. But we will struggle this season if we don't get a centre back in, unless Tosin does a pretty good job. But I don't know. I just don't really expect a lot. But I agree what Scott says a lot as well on that.
Now, CP, are you in that same ballpark of it's either we get a center back or we don't challenge?
Yeah, we're not challenging.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're not challenging.
Unless we get a center back.
Yeah, we're not challenging.
Hey, get Bastoni, man.
My prediction of us being second is not happening.
Yeah.
We're getting fourth again. I'm telling you right now, we're getting fourth.
Unless we get a proper center back.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are looking at a couple pounders, but I don't know if it's like
Yeah.
true or not. That's the thing.
I'll actually bring that into the conversation shortly. But another thing, like I wanted to add, is does anyone think that there's even the possibility that Achimpong could start to develop that style of play more? Like he could adapt into that role a little better with a few more games. Like obviously, what we saw from Achimpong is the first of many games. Like if I do think over the course of time, as he starts more often, gets more opportunities, he will improve in that position. Also, it is good to note that Tosin is back in training, so it's expected that he might start.
He will get minutes as well,
or at least get some minutes against West Ham. But
we got Fofana back too, right? Like some.
Yeah, we have Fofana back, but he's like Scott was saying, like Fofana doesn't do that.
No,
If
he won't do that.
If anything, it's going to be
if
Fofana
Chalobah and him
Tosin.
start, Chalobah would be on the left side, and he would be on the right.
Yeah, and we would have to ask Chalobah to not. I mean, I don't know
if Chalobah could do that.
capable.
Yeah, I don't know either. So.
But another thing that I wanted to bring up, this is like, for me, this is like the biggest reason that I don't want to bring a center back in unless it's like a clear level raiser. And at that point, like just, at the end of the season, you sell off like a Badiashile or Wesley,
wouldn't you be okay
whatever. But like in terms of, for me, for Achimpong, like this is one of those, like, there's two scenarios here, right? Like it's one of those like scenarios of like, I forget what the right terminology or the right figure of speech is, but it's like, we've spoken so highly of him amongst the fan base this whole time. This is now the chance to really step up and show what you're made of. And I understand he's 19, right? Like I understand that this isn't his natural position either, but part of me also feels that if he's as good as people claim to him to be, and we saw against Crystal Palace, like, although I did say like he struggled, right? We went over this whole entire thing. At the end of the day, he had a good performance and he stood his ground against Mateta, who, I mean, most defenders struggle, like really, really struggle and fail the Mateta test, right? Like this Achimpong passed it. I do feel like there is a player there that, if he's as good as people claim he is, then I think he can step up to the plate. And we look at this tweet right now, and this is kind of what made me think more and got the cogs in my head spinning, and kind of goes towards why I don't want to go for another center back. And it's what Matt Law is saying right here. They made certain promises to someone like Josh Achimpong, and if you don't really give him a chance and you bring someone else in, you could find Achimpong deciding he wants to leave. Now, there are rumors, there are clubs that want him. Chelsea has been pretty staunch on wanting to keep him. Maresca says he wants to keep him, and it'd be pretty fucked up, and I get it from the player's point of view. Obviously, I'm more worried about Chelsea than the player, so I get where you guys are coming from about challenging for the title. Like, I do agree that a starting center back versus experimenting and giving someone a shot is probably the better bet if you want to challenge. But it's kind of where I put this back on the table, right? Like Scott especially is one of them that speaks really, really highly of Achimpong, right? Would you rather give Achimpong the chance to prove himself and take the chance that he could improve in that position, or would you rather bring in another center back and take the risk that, okay, we fought to keep Achimpong, we staved away offers only just to get someone else in and reduce his chance to actually, like, literally block his path into the first team?
No, I wouldn't say no. How are we blocking his path? He's my perfect Fofana replacement.
That's all.
He can play right center back. He's already plays right back. He played right center back at times when he was playing for us last season. He's my perfect replacement. Pacey, physical, is good on the ball. He's my perfect Fofana replacement. I'm not stopping him from playing that role. He can be that role.
But
he could be the perfect
don't
role
you
for
think in the right center back role, like, let me ask you, Would you prefer Acheampong there or Tosin?
Achapong, that literally the whole point
Acheampong.
of us as center back is supposed to be Tosin or Colwill because of their passing range. And also Tosin's not the most fleet of foot. We saw that when we played AC Milan and he was so flat-footed against Leao.
Yeah, that's true.
So actually Achapong is the perfect right center back for us. Tosin can be center back, step in, be the physical guy who can head away the ball and also do those line breaking passes because even the manager said it's only Tosin and Colwill who can handle that role. Because Fofana was a disaster. He said it himself. Chalobah's can't do it. And Badiashiola's injury prone and I don't think is good enough anymore because I think he's regressed from when he joined us because of his injuries overall and his mentality due to those injuries. So yeah, I think Josh has, because we know this season Chalobah's in the squad, but we still heard reports about us being open to offers. Next season he's gone. Brother is gone. We know Chalobah's gone. So even that way, Josh, you have a spot either way. Either you're a Fofana replacement or you're the Chalobah replacement. Either way, you got that right center back unlocked, buddy. Don't worry about it.
I don't know how convinced I am of that. Like, I feel like, yeah, some of us would think that, but when I look at what the manager's going to do, I feel like the Maresca probably thinks Fofana's ahead of Acheampong at right center back. He probably thinks that Tosin's ahead of him at right center back. I would even say Reese is probably ahead of him as a right center back option.
I don't think we should play that no more.
But I don't know. I'm not saying my opinion. I'm just saying what Maresca would do.
Yeah, I don't think Enter's
Yeah, but Maresca said Tosin's a center back, not a right center back. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he did.
But like I'm saying, like, but this is in the instance that if we were to bring in, like, just to put it out there, the next segment I'm going to talk about is Bastoni, right? We've been linked with Bastoni. Let's say Bastoni comes into the club, plays that left center back role. Who do you pair him up with? You know, because I just don't think it's going to be Acheampong. That's
I mean,
where
like you
you
said,
run into the issue of blocking
if we
his
do get
path.
center back, we can play
if Colwell's gone for the season, then Tosin's my Bastoni backup. There you go, center back, buddy. There you go. There's my ball playing, breaking the line through center back.
I mean, he didn't play a lot. Yeah, I was gonna say Tosin didn't really like. He started some games and he was on a bench for a few games as well. Like he wasn't like a complete starter. And same with Acheampong as well last season. That was like his first season at Chelsea anyway as a senior. So, yeah, like I put them two in the same boat for like rotation. Like they're both rotation players anyway right now. And well, Acheampong is more like obviously the future, but yeah, I don't see Tosin being really much ahead of Acheampong. I don't think so, but I don't know. Time will tell on that one, I guess. It depends if we get centre back. It's if buts and maybes as well, so we'll see what happens.
Now, going back to the original question, and I'll bring it to Scott. I'm sure he has his thoughts on this. It does seem that like if we do bring in a center back, right? It seems that based on what Matt Law is saying, that it's essentially going to block Acheampong's path. And we're no longer trusting in Acheampong to fulfill that role, which is kind of what we have squad depth and why we have a youth team for to rely on in case we need for these kind of situations. Because obviously you can't go in the window and every time there's an injury, just fix it up by buying a player. Like sometimes you just got to work with what you have, which you mentioned under Conte and all that stuff, right? Do you feel that? Would you rather bring in a center back and risk losing Acheampong to another club because he's going to want to seek out game time? Or would you rather just rely on him this season, hope that he can develop into the player that we want him to be, which I think we would, and probably refine that center back role as he gets more game time and experience?
I think, again, it just depends on your expectations for the season. Like, this is not going to be something that happens instantly. Yes, this is not going to be something that happens potentially even within a month, to be honest, because I don't expect it to. So you're in a position where you're losing a key part of your game as a team, I mean, for a month. I'm saying best case scenario.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is, like I said earlier, I can't expect to, challenge for a title, potentially finish second, without our best centre back and without a key part of the way we play. Because it's not even just about like Colwill, the player, in terms of him being this amazing centre back. Like, he is our best centre back currently, but it's more losing what he brings with the profile. Yeah, that's all it is. Like, if Josh was the exact same profile, then this is a bit of a different debate, but he's not.
Sure.
He's more of the Fofana profile currently. But he wants to step out from the back. He wants to drive with the ball. He's very, very good at doing that. We already see it. But he's not great. Like, he's okay, but he's not great at those line-breaking passes. Like, we didn't really see that against Crystal Palace, like, at all. And a couple of times he did attempt it. It didn't really work all that well. So, like, as I said, it's obviously something you can teach. He's 18. He's a very talented centre-back. Like, there is that to teach him. It's just about, for me, a couple of things. Number one, like I said, expectation. Number two, it's about margin for error. Like, the margin for error as a club is a lot higher with him in the back line, as talented as I think he is, and as much as I want him to stay, obviously, and I think he does have a big future. The margin for error is just naturally bigger trying to train a guy like that in-house to be able to do that job rather than going getting a purpose-built player to do that job. Like, the margin error is just higher. So, like, that's all it is. And it's a case of, like I said, if you're fine with just getting top four in a one domestic trophy or something this season, cool, then you can try and make it work. And it probably will work with time. Because, like I said, he is a talented centre-back. But, like, might have games where it looks shit. Like, we might have games like Palace where our passing looks a bit pedestrian and slow, and you have to get a bit more from Sanchez, which you won't. Like, you just won't. But that is a conversation for another day. And you have to get some more from Caicedo and Enzo. I'm talking, like, from a dictating play point of view, which we know Enzo can do it. We've seen him do it. I believe Caicedo can do it, even though I haven't seen it really for Chelsea on a what's it called? On a kind of grander scale. So yeah, like I said at the start, you can make it work 100%. You just have to tweak things in this team to get it to work, which I don't know if we do, but just have to see how it kind of plays out.
Yeah,
I also, by the way, just on a side note, that whole thing about Matt Law, I think that's bullshit. Like,
sure.
Look at this season, like, or look at last season. Say a centre back comes in, he just takes Colwill's place. So Josh starts the season the same place he started last season, the same place he's played most of last season in terms of pecking order, the same place he started the season before the injury. Like, his game time isn't going to be affected by another centre back coming in, because we still have no idea that Fofana can stay fit. That's still completely untested.
Yeah,
we know that even with all the centre backs we have fit, he still gets game time. That was proven last season. So the fact that also as well that we had a centre back older than him, more experienced in terms of more game time, was actually a centre back, because people forget this guy is a right back come centre back.
Yeah.
And he played over him because he's just better than him. And that other centre back is now going out on loan. So I don't think there's literally any issue in terms of pecking order or stunning his growth or any of that. Because if that was an issue, that would have become apparent last season. And it wasn't at any point.
Well, I mean, I think...
He played 4 different positions last season.
Yeah, I think from Matt Law's perspective, I think he's looking at it from the player's perspective. Like, the player has been touted and linked with moves, at least loan moves, away from the club. And it seems like Chelsea have denied those moves. And I think if I'm the player and I'm seeing that, I'm probably thinking, okay, the gaffer probably has some plans to integrate me into the squad a little bit more this season. And especially considering, you played the first game of the season at that center back position and you did a job. So the gaffer is starting to trust you more. And, it's going to be tough for him to get in that right back position. Sorta. I say that hesitantly because obviously Reece James is ahead of you, right? And Gusto, the verdict is still out on Gusto. He's had a recent improvement of form in recent games. It's not really that much for me to actually say like, oh, Gusto's back, but it's enough for me to say like, okay, there might be something there to keep an eye on. But if the trajectory is that Gusto does improve and Gusto comes back to the Gusto we saw when he initially came and under Poch, then you have Gusto that could potentially be ahead of you that we know Maresca trusts wholeheartedly, considering how many times he's pissed you off when he's come on and Maresca has brought him on. But then you have those players ahead of you. So I don't know, from a player's perspective, it's like, okay, you want me to stay, but you just brought in another center back. Like, where am I going to play? Where am I going to find game time? You have these two right backs ahead of me. And if you wanted me to play a center back, well, you just got another center back. And there's a few other players that I'm sure you trust more because of the experience they have, because of the physicality and all that stuff, that I'm just going to probably try to find a move in January because I'm not getting enough play time. And I know last season I was fine with it because it was my first season. Yeah, but it was his first season. Obviously, it's your debut season. You're not gonna.
It was also the same season, Marsh. You forget he was isolated from the entire team for 6 months because he wouldn't sign a contract because he didn't see the path until Maresca spoke to him. He didn't sign a contract. Like, if he didn't see the pathway at all, he would be gone currently. He would have been sold.
But last season we had Conference League, Joe, right? Like, he was going to get minutes regardless.
No, but you can still I'm not saying he can't play in games. Number one, we've got Cup. Number two, I trust him to play against the likes of Burnley and the likes of Leeds and the likes of Wolves and West Ham, for example, at the weekend. I trust him to play in that game. That's fine. What the games I don't want him playing in are the top 6 games, the game against your Bournemouths, the games against your who else do I think? Newcastle's, Villas. Those are the ones where, okay, maybe you don't want to play those games. At least starting to begin with, maybe. Unless you've got a Tosin in there or whatever that you can play next to him. I'd have to happily play him right centre-back in those games, maybe. But I'm just talking from a centre-back. But I'm not saying he doesn't get any games, but I'm saying we're talking about Josh currently in the sense of we have to rely on him week in, week out for every single game currently until Tosin's fit. And if Tosin goes out, he then becomes the de facto. We have to rely on him week in, week out. A player that's never played in that position, that currently can't do all elements, as talented I think is, he can't do all elements of that position, so you're going to have to coach him. And we're asking him to play a 38-game season, potentially. Obviously, we don't know how long Tosin's out. I know he's back now, but we don't know what the status with him is. That's the difference. Yeah. What I'm asking is he's a bit part player in terms of he plays, I don't know, 10 to 15 games a season, but it's like he's playing maybe 20 minutes a game here. Yeah. So he comes on a sub, but he starts some games there. Don't forget we've got Champions League as well. So some of the guys are going to be starting Champions League. He can maybe start the league game at the weekend. So that's what I'm saying. It's not like I'm saying, oh, he's going to get no game time, because that wasn't the case last season. And we're playing more competitions this season.
I also think even with Fofana, he ain't gonna play every game this season. There's no way in how he will do that. The manager won't. If he does somehow stay fit for most of the season, he won't play every game. We won't risk it. So Action Pong, I know we have to wait and see, but I feel like Action Pong will get more minutes this season from last season still. No problem.
Even with a new center back coming in?
Yes.
Yes, because it's like Colwill's place. Yes. This would be different if we had Colwill and we're getting another centre back. Then it's do Leeds. Even then I'd sell. There's others I'd sell. But then I understand he's literally just taking Colwill's place.
Yeah.
That centre back that comes in is not taking someone, they're taking Colwill's place in the squad, because Colwill reportedly, I know it didn't say in any of the things, that reportedly he's going to be back earliest March, April.
Oh yeah, I didn't find those tweets, but yeah, that's what I heard.
So you're telling me Cole's coming back with, let's say, a month worth of football left,
and he's going to be
basically gone for the season.
It's going to be rusty.
If I'm Chelsea when he comes back, depending on the games we have at the end of the season, I'm playing him in the easy games where he can find
it could be a sub here
and then what's it called? And then just basically telling him rest. Rest, recuperate. He played a lot of games, obviously, before the season before. Rest, recuperate, be good for the new season. Because ideally, even though obviously I want it this season, if we don't do it this season, next season is the title challenge. Bare fucking minimum. Like, I'd like it this season, obviously. But at the end of the day, they're not making certain signings that I think we need to make to have a title challenge. The season after is no excuse because it's also the same timeline that they had. So I want Colwill to be fully fit for that title challenge.
I don't disagree. And obviously, like, I'm not staunch on, like, no, we don't need a, like, if the club bring in another center back, then I think it's great. Like, obviously, it shows that they're listening to the manager, and there's an actual center back out there that they think will suit what we need. Because obviously, you're not just going to buy any random center back. It has to be a profile that suits what Maresca needs, which is a center back that can do those long range passes that we get from Colwill, the passes through the middle, all this and that. Now, I know we mentioned Tosin, which I think Tosin can do that, but the question is also, like, and I think Tosin is rigid enough that and durable enough that he can stay fit for most of the season. I think this is the first time, or maybe the second time, he's had like a knock or like a minor injury. But for the most part, he was pretty much available for a lot of last season. Now, another factor to bring into this is the fact that Tosin was also not like an out-and-out starter like Levi Colwill was. He came in from time to time. It wasn't until towards the latter half of the season where he started to get more game time and became more of a starter, and we started seeing better form from him. But I do think this is something that we're obviously going to have to look at as the season goes on. And if it doesn't happen this next 2 weeks before the window ends, it could potentially happen in January, which, not holding my breath considering what happened last January. But we'll see how Tosin holds up. If Tosin can hold up, I still, have faith that either one, Tosin is decent enough that he can fulfill a role. Obviously not as good as Levi Colwill, but good enough that we can still get at least 75 to 50% of the passing range that Colwill was able to provide through Tosin. And that should be enough to get us just over the line to meet our goals, which is challenge and go, for me, is win the Champions League. And I also do think that even if that isn't the solution, and maybe this is naivety and optimism on my behalf, so call it out as you see it, guys. But part of me does believe that Maresca can find another solution. It'll be difficult, but I also don't feel like this has been the first time he's been tested at this club.
When you say
last year with the striker.
What would you say the solution is then? Because if it has to be in-house, we've gone through the centre-backs we have. The only other centre-back we haven't mentioned, because I do not have a fucking Scooby-Doo what is going on, and obviously we'll probably touch on him later with another topic, is Sarr. Because again, I don't know what's going on with him, number one. Second, we saw how he was utilised in the Club World Cup. Right centre-back for 10 minutes. So he's basically at the same starting point not from an ability point of view, because obviously I haven't watched enough of Sarr to know whether he can do the central centre-back thing. I know he doesn't for Strasbourg. He plays on the left in the three.
Sarr? Not Sarr, sorry. Hato, sorry. Like, he can play.
Oh, yeah, Hato is the other one, but again, he's kind of the two in-house are Sarr if he comes back.
Yeah.
With the whole Enciso thing, or Hato. Hato is actually, let me finish on the Sarr thing. With the Sarr thing, he plays left in the three at the moment with Strasbourg. With us, he played right centre-back for like 10 minutes. In terms of his standing in the squad, in terms of where he's seen at currently, he's level pegging with Josh. So that's the person, by the way, when you want to talk about blocking the pathway, I'd argue he's a bigger block than going and signing a Bastoni or a Ribeiro or someone like that, especially considering the age as well. And the second option is Hato, who has played centre-back, yes, but had his best performance playing as a left-back. So again, you're asking him to probably play as the left centre-back in the three. Because, he played centre-back in a 4 prior to Farioli going there last season. When he got moved to left back, that was the team that was on the cusp of winning the title until they bottled it, like heavy bottle. So again, you're talking about a guy who's better on the left. As far as I'm aware, I don't know. I didn't watch Ajax in terms of when he was playing centre back. I didn't really watch him last season either. It was just a case of like hearing a lot of things about him. But it doesn't sound like central centre back is going to be most comfortable for him. And even if it is, again, he's a complete unknown currently. So you talk about margin for error. There is potential for a huge margin for error.
Yeah.
And I think it screams a lot, or tells me a lot, that Achimpong was the first port of call, despite never playing central centre-back. Actually, no, I tell a lie. I think he played there once last season. In that run where he was playing centre-back, I think he played there once. I cannot for the life of me remember what game it was. I don't remember if it was Bournemouth or another game, maybe Palace. But it was one of the games last season he played there. So this was his second game playing there. And Hato was available. That tells me he's not seen as an option. At least not now. So again, with him, the problem with all of our in-house options is they're either injury prone or they're going to take time and patience. So I go back to the same point I made earlier.
So
if you're wanting to invest in one of these options long term, you have to have time and patience and accept that, as Cap says, our ceiling probably in the league is top 4.
I would say like 4th or 5th. That's where we get. Like getting us back in Navy.
I don't mean to come off condescending. It's not my intention at all. I'm just what I'm gonna say is that I'm actually looking at the solution differently. Like, I'm not even looking at it as like an in-house center back. What I was kind of referring to is that I think Maresca could potentially find not necessarily a system change, because I feel like he's had a few system changes, quote unquote, that we've seen throughout, that he's experimented with in Club World Cup. I think there could be a potential that he relies on a formation that he tried in Club World Cup, and kind of, instead of relying on the center back to be kind of like a quarterback for the team, maybe. And this is just an idea, right? I'm not the manager. It's his job to come up with solutions. I'm just setting like a hypothetical. Maybe depending more on the wings and the wide spaces to deliver the ball, and having just the midfield be more of like a wall to bounce off of, which then again causes different problems. But this is why I'm not the manager. I don't get paid to find these solutions. But I'm saying like another way and workaround, an in-house workaround that Maresca could potentially try to do, is a slight tweak to the system and how he plays out the back, or how he builds up the attack. And I don't know if Maresca is capable of doing it. I think he is. I mean, we've seen some adaptability.
That PSG game, he changed the way you play from the back.
Yeah, and so that's what I mean by like maybe Maresca finding an in-house solution that isn't as simply as putting a center back there.
He's not like that experienced, right? Like, he went to Leicester.
I don't know about Tommy T, but yeah.
It feels like we are asking quite a lot from Maresca, like to keep changing.
Oh, we are.
System and, like,
we are. Like, this guy deserves a pay rise.
Like, he wanted Mike Mannion because he plays pretty good from the back. Like, he's very good, and he's a good leader, and he is a solid keeper anyway. Obviously, we're not getting him, probably not, because we don't want to pay like 20 million or whatever it is. And now we obviously lost Colwill, and he's asking for a centre back just to try keep up like with his system and everything. And we're just like, Navy gotta like leave. I don't know if we're gonna leave him high and dry about. I don't know, but like we're gonna like say, okay, you gotta rely on Tosin or who's the other centre back who can play there? Maybe I guess Achimpong, who can maybe play there, but like I don't know about Badishile. I feel like he's lost it anyway, but
Badishile I think can play there.
His passing's good, I think, but
from a passing perspective, it's just the two things. It's just the concentration thing and the injury prone thing. That's why I've changed my tune on him. He needs to leave now, because when having him behind Colwill when Colwill was never injured was calm. That's fine. And the fact that Cole's now injured long term, and obviously when he comes back he's not going to be 100%. I can't have my backup to him be injury prone. He needs to leave. Yeah. Regardless.
Who can fuck off? Sorry, like.
No, it's fine. Let's actually. I think that was a really, really good discussion. I think we kind of just touched on all types of solutions, outliers, and problems that this could cause. And I think it was a very productive discussion. I mean, continuing on the discussion, I might as well put this into it because I mentioned it earlier, is the potential for Bastoni. Now, I know it's kind of been touted, it's been debunked, but Gazzetta still coming out and saying we were still interested. So who knows? It could be PR. It could be Chelsea saving face saying that.
Just getting my hopes up for this.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. But I might as well bring it up. Apparently, according to Gazzetta dello Sport, Chelsea put in a bid for Bastoni. Inter Milan reportedly slammed the door on a €50 million offer from Chelsea for defender Alessandro Bastoni. There's nothing, according to Kieran Gill, suggesting that Chelsea had made a £43 million move for Inter Milan and Italy center back Alessandro Bastoni, which could potentially be, Chelsea PR saving face. We do have. What is this? Chelsea know their name is often used to drive up prices and refuse to be used as an auction tool for players they don't plan to bid for, which could be the case for this. And Gazzetta also coming out. This is the last one, Chris. Inter Milan want more than £60 million for Bastoni. Chelsea value him around £45 million. There is a gap in valuation that doesn't seem the deal is likely. Senior sources want Maresca to trust Achimpong, just like he did with Colwill. What were you going to say, Chris?
It's the post before, like, drive up the price. Like, who's going for Bastoni right now? Like, the only way...
There's probably clubs.
I
could see Man City, for example.
Like, yeah, but I haven't heard...
I think haven't heard...
They're getting rid of Akanji. Like, Scott, I was looking at the other day.
Oh, yeah,
once they get rid of Akanji and Ake... Once they get rid of Akanji and Ake, all they have left as a backup is Kusanov and Vardio when he's back.
Yeah.
That's it. They're running really thin.
They got Vardio, Kusanov, Diaz, Stones.
That's it.
Also, Bastoni,
and then Academy from there.
Obviously, Simpson Pousse's on loan.
Yeah, dude, that's it. If you look at their roster or their squad from the last game, that's it.
Okay.
Right now, Vardio's out with an injury right now, and you're relying on John Stone to stay fit. Like, it's kind of risky.
The problem they have is that their best centre-back currently is their left centre-back. And I know he could play left-back, but then it's like, okay, what's the point of buying Aiton Murray?
No, yeah. I was going to say, isn't Bastoni like 25 too? Like, he's at a good age.
Yeah,
he's been around for many years because he made at a young age. But like, yeah, like even for like 60, 70 million, I would say go for it. But like, I don't know how much we can spend, to be honest. So I can't really just say go for it because I want, how I've been wanting Xavi Simons too, like in this 10 role or something for Chelsea. So we have to sell players still. I know we have to sell, like, obviously, Nkunku, Jackson. We get like 50, 60 million for Jackson, I don't know, to Newcastle or whoever. Yeah. That'd be brilliant.
If we have time, we'll discuss Jackson, obviously.
But yeah, like, I would want to get Bastoni in because I think we've been talking about Bastoni for years, and he's a very talented centre back, and he's experienced, and he's a leader for his team as well.
He's got the passing ability as well.
Yeah.
He has both, actually. He can do passing and he can drive up the field, right?
Yeah. I see him drive up the field as well. I don't know, like even 60, 70 million, I feel like that's a fair price for him as well. 40 million, that's, I don't know how many years has he got left in his contract, because it's like 40 million.
I don't know.
40 million. Inter's not like, we're not, there's no way Inter signed for 40 something million, even if we had a year left. I just don't see it. That's too low for him. So it's either like, can you offer 60, 70? If you can't, then Chelsea should just back off from it, because we're not getting him for under 50. There's no way we get Bastoni for that cheap. Bastoni's one of the top centre backs anyway. So
yeah,
I don't think we'll get him. I just think it's like out of thin air, like because of the injuries and all that, and it's like getting my hopes up. Like, oh, we can get Bastoni. I don't want to get my hopes up too much. Like, just like be invested in this. But
unfortunately, maybe this is me being a bit pessimistic. I know people say shock, but I don't think we get a centre back, unfortunately. And I think if we do, it's Sarr. Like we recall him.
No, Akanji maybe.
No, I think Akanji goes Galatasaray, because the other thing with Akanji is there is no. Akanji would be so left field of everything that these owners and sporting directors have tried to do. That's outside of it's a good deal, like 15 million, but there's no resale value, like, absolutely none. He's 30 or like 29, I think.
Yeah,
He's 30.
like,
He's 30.
his
You're right.
career.
He's 30.
Like, there's no. Obviously, I think he's a good centre back, but there's no upside from a looking forward point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's a good stopgap for Colwill.
No, I think he is as well, and like
Yeah, he would be a good step.
a loan or something would make sense if you don't want to commit full time, because obviously you've got Sarr and others coming back. Like, and I understand that.
For
to a
15
point,
mil anyway, like.
But it would be so left field of everything they've done up until this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I think the most likely answer is we recall Sarr, which I think would be such a stupid idea.
Yeah, that's going to be something, if it even does happen, it'll be in January. And then I don't even know if I can... But we'll see. I mean, I am looking forward, obviously, especially after the recent news that happened on Enciso, which we will discuss. I am looking actually forward to watching more of Strasbourg this season because they're building a very serious team, to be fair to them, especially. I think it's going to be a good team. Like,
I agree. It's just like looking at it in the way
we might have to look at
it's just such a weirdly like.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to sound bad when I say it, but I don't mean it. It's just such a weirdly built team. Like, I'm not saying it's been built poorly. It's just weird. Like, you look at who's playing in where is all I mean. Like, it just looks weird. But yeah, it seems like
they can get top 4 in their league.
I don't know. It's way too early to tell. They played one game. They won.
Yeah,
but it's way too early.
I'm thinking if they get top 4 and we get top 4, top 5, like, or something, and get Champions League, we might have to sell them, and that would be like a damn shame because it's been working out together pretty well with the loans and all that, and we buy players under the Todd Bowley, Clear Lake, whatever, like system now.
Yeah,
Blue code. That's it, blue code.
Blue code. Yeah. It's gonna be a team definitely like to keep an eye on because. Obviously, some of these signings look like they could be potential signings for Chelsea, or they could be permanent signings for Strasbourg. Like, we'll see, because now we can see that there definitely looks like there is a route to the first team through the multi-club model. We need to see more, but for example, like
I don't think there's any evidence to that at all.
Well, not Strasbourg. Andre Santos is like. He's
the only one, and he's the only one, and he currently doesn't have a first team spot. Like in terms of starting 11, I mean, obviously he's part of.
I don't mean starting 11. I mean just like in the squad.
Even so, okay, cool. Let's say Andre Santos, he's the only one, and the plan was for him to be part of the first team way before he went to Strasbourg. That's why we sent him to Nottingham Forest. It was just a shit loan. Like outside of him and outside of Penders, but again, the Penders thing. Like the plan apparently, like they've always seen something in Penders. It's just Strasbourg made the most sense from our point. Like we were saying Strasbourg for him for ages because it just made the most sense.
Yeah. Just
lost the goalkeeper in Petrovic. It was just a good stepping stone going from playing in the Belgian league to playing in the French league, playing Conference League. Outside of those two, there's literally no evidence of like there being a pathway. Even this Enciso thing, which I know we'll talk about, like that's the biggest flip I've ever seen. That dude's got no future at Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, I see that point of view as well. I think Enciso's one to keep an eye on. Omega's another one to keep an eye on. You have
Omega's not playing here ever because who's getting sold to play?
I think that was gonna depend heavily on how Delap, Guiu, and João Pedro perform in this season. Like he'd be a contingency plan because you remember the news that broke out about Omega that potentially he could be Chelsea are looking into bringing him into the plans for Chelsea. So that's why like I brought in like one to keep an eye on is him. Paez is another one. Obviously Sarr, Penders, like you mentioned. There's like 5 players that have been linked with the future at Chelsea.
The problem with all of these guys, and I know Gabriel was asked here, the problem with all of these guys is they're going to come into Chelsea in positions where there are already multiple players in their position. Like, say Omega comes in next season. Like, say he replaces Hugh, we flip Hugh for profit. Bro's coming in 5th choice striker after literally coming off a season where, like, I think he's already got a goal or an assist in the first game. Oh, no, I think he got an assist in the first game because their new striker scored. So it looks like he's going to have another good season. He's currently their captain as well, which is weird, but I'm also not surprised because he's like the oldest dude at 22.
Isn't he been there for 3 years? Something like that?
Yeah, 2 or 3 years. But so he's going to come into this team at a stage where he's playing week in, week out to be third choice striker behind Delap or João Pedro. The only reason he gets the problem I have with this, and it's only a problem because I think it highlights an issue from a Chelsea point of view in terms of if he becomes and starts ahead of either of those two, it means one or both of them have done a shit job in their position. Because like if the lap can't hold the position down over a Veiga, why do we need to get the lap? Just like why did you need to go and do that? We're able to flip him for profit. I'm not worried about that. It's just more of like seems like a bit of a waste of time.
I mean, you got to try him. You know what I mean? Like we know.
Sarr, by the way, just on the others, Sarr, fifth choice. He was fifth choice centre back when he left. When he comes back, he's going to be fifth choice centre back unless he has an astronomical rise this season. Yeah. Which he could do, but also when he comes back, he's not ahead of Colwill. He's not ahead of Tosin. He won't be ahead of Fofana if he's fit. So he's at best fourth choice centre back when he comes in. But he's a backup when he comes in. So I just don't see, again, I don't know if he has a future here. Penders, I think, does. If he has a good loan. Because I think, again, the noise about him. And Pires, I don't know at this point. Because, again, he's coming into a stacked... I don't know about Pires either. Especially with the Enciso. He's coming into a stacked position. And it's the same thing with Enciso. Like, these guys are going to come into a team that will have 2 wingers, 2 10s, 2 strikers, 2 right wingers. Like, but I'm saying that based on who we're linked with and who it looks like we're signing. Who are you displacing to get into this team is the question. And a follow-up to that is, or you could look at it on the other hand of who has done such a, like I said with the lap thing, who has done such a shit job of holding their position down. Do you now come from a season playing at Strasbourg and immediately be better than them? Again, unless these guys have basically a Petrovic level season in terms of upgrade, right?
Yeah.
Which could happen. I don't know at this point. I'm not going to say they can't. It's way too early, and they're also way too young for me to say they can't. But it's just weird to me because if Pires comes in next season, I am based on where he's played. I think in the first game, I think he was on the bench in the first game. I don't know what happened in the second game. He came on and played in the midfield in one of the two midfield. So is Simmons getting sold a season after we paid 60 million potentially for him? Or is Enzo getting paid now?
I think it's definitely something that we gotta just wait it out, see how the season plays out, and then you assess from there.
I completely agree. I'm just saying how it looks now. That's why I say for me, there is. That's why going back to your point, I don't think there's any evidence right now outside of Santos and potentially Penders of there being a pathway. I think it's this. I think it's more of an idea. I think it's an idea in terms of something you're selling to these players. Like I keep wanting to talk about the Enciso thing because again, that's such a weird transfer to me. But I feel like we've lied to that kid because I don't
There's some tweets that I'll read about it as well, but I don't see
where the pathway. I don't see where the pathway for him is to Chelsea because if he's played in the Premier League already. He showed he was good enough for the Premier League. I think him leaving Brighton is just a case of the manager not fancying him because when he was there under De Zerbi, he was playing and played well. It was just a case of you had other guys come in, like Ruta came in, was ahead of him, took his number actually this season. You had João Pedro obviously ahead of him, who's now at Chelsea. You had Mitoma was obviously ahead of him because of how well he played. Minte they just signed, he went ahead of him. Welbeck was still there, and Welbeck just seems to be a constant. You always have those old guys that are a constant in some of those teams. So, he couldn't really fit in there. So, he didn't really do anything at Ipswich, from what I remember. But he can play in the Premier League. So, to then take... And again, I don't mean this disrespectfully, but take what could be potentially viewed as a step down in terms of the level. Obviously, I know they're in the Conference League, but it could be viewed as a step down because the level of team you're playing for, whatever, and the league. he has to have been told he's got a pathway to Chelsea, but I have no idea where that pathway is, because if he comes in next season, I keep forgetting as well, we've got Quenda, he's getting sold.
True.
Or he's just going to be third choice 10 or something. Like, again, like, yeah, it's just very weird to me.
No, and I get it, and I do think that, like, I've iterated this multiple times. I do think there comes a point in this project with Blueco that we will just be stacked with good players that we're going to have to, like, for example, this is just an example, right? Like, let's just say Andre Santos develops into becoming better as an option than Enzo Fernandez. Like, Enzo Fernandez is a great player, but throughout this season, we see that consistently Andre Santos have been performing better than him. Eventually, Fernandez gets benched, and eventually we could potentially sell Fernandez because we don't have use for him because Santos has stepped up and he's been a better option, right? Like, that's just a hypothetical. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's just a hypothetical where, you know, the club, we have so much talent that some of the newer talent comes in and just steals the current talent's chain and they go. Like, I do see that could be an option that happens. But I agree, like, there's a lot of unknowns because you look at that Strasbourg team and you look at the pipeline and it's just like there's a lot of players in that pipeline in certain areas where we already have a lot of options. Sorry, I just stuttered like crazy there. We already have a lot of options. And so it's one of those, let's see where this goes. Let's see what the plan is. Some of them look like obvious flips. Payet, I don't know what's going to happen with him. Also, with this Vic, let's also play it slowly because Payet hasn't had like actual professional football.
He hasn't played in like 6 months, which is partly
a very long time.
I would say that's on us, by the way. That's fully on us. The fact he hasn't played in like not even 6. He hasn't played in like 7 months of football, like in terms of actual men's football on a, like, not training and shit. I'm talking actually playing football. He hasn't played like 7 months, which is on us as a club because we decided to after his league season finished, we brought him to England and just had him doing fuck all, basically for 7 months. So he has to work back into that. The thing I will say, Marshall, is I agree with you about the Strasbourg thing. I think, and this is where I think I don't know if they've got it slightly wrong, but maybe it's the way it's being, what's the word, like, shown in the media in terms of some of the signings they make, I think are fantastic for them. Like the Enciso thing, I think is a fantastic signing for them. I think where I get confused is this idea he has a pathway to Chelsea, because no, he doesn't, and he doesn't do. Like, if the whole point, which I think it should be if you have a multi-club model, especially one that's as new as ours is, and in as much in its infancy as ours is, build both teams. Like, obviously one has to be better than the other, which should be Chelsea. I mean, I think they kind of are. Build Strasbourg. Yeah, build Strasbourg to a perennial I think it's top 4 in their league. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Top 3, top 4 team in France. Which signings like Enciso can help. Signings like that guy they signed up front that seems to he scored obviously in their first game. I forgot his name, Para something or other. Signings like that. Apparently that new centre back, like Hogsberg, is quite good from the first game. But signings like that will help. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they should be building both. And so you might have a couple that do make the step, or because they should, obviously. Like, you see City have had a couple like those. But for me, it shouldn't be a case of you're signing these players because they see a pathway to Chelsea, or you're selling them a pathway to Chelsea they never have. Just like the Enciso thing should just be there. We're signing him for Strasbourg. Have him there for 2-3 years. Have him be someone who can be a big part of the squad. So if you do lose an Omega, because again, he's been there 2-3 years, he's probably the point where you can get 50 mil for him. And Enciso can step in, right? Someone like I'm trying to think who else they've signed. Like a Moreira thing. Like, he obviously looks like a guy who can be there 2-3 years. Keep him there for 2-3 years. Build something, because you'll do a few things. Number one is, like I said, you'll build that team into a perennial top 4 contender. Number two, and this is, I think, a big thing, and I think people overlook this, but you'll build some of that relationship back with the fans who despise you, not because anything. Some of this stuff is because of you in terms of the sales thing and a couple of other things. And for example, I think Football VAR mentioned it, of like, I think when I mentioned the SAR recall, like in terms of them rioting for stuff like that. But like, they hate you because of what they've experienced in the past when it comes to American owners. You have to show them you're different.
Yeah.
You have to show them it isn't just a cash grab for you, because that's what it was for other owners. Like for people that don't know, go and do your history on Strasbourg. They nearly went bankrupt twice, and coincidentally, both owners were American, both times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they have a bad taste in their mouth.
That's why they despise American owners and they despise Blue Coat. Mm-hmm. Because they are just worried about that shit. And you selling their best player and most experienced player that literally at the season or the summer after or winter, wherever it was, after you get there, doesn't help. But build that back by showing you're actually investing in this team, not as a case of to sell to Chelsea or to build to this bigger club, but to invest in this team to make this better for the long run. Obviously, some of these guys are going to move. Strasbourg is not the final boss for a lot of these guys.
Of course.
Like Omega, I think there were reports when the whole Chelsea thing came out earlier this summer. I think there were other teams interested. I don't know why, but I want to say Juve was one of them, maybe, but I could be wrong. He is going to get opportunities elsewhere. But guess what? If you build him to a point where you can get 50 million or whatever from a big club, and you build him to the point where he contributes and gets you to a point, you can do two things. Number one is that hopefully it gets you at a point where you can sign players that are on his level, that maybe raise you a bit further. And off the back of that, you can show players, come here, because you'll improve. If you come to this club, you will improve as players. You'll get your big move, but you've got a chance of actually playing for a good team in a good league where you can move to a big club later on. I know it's a smaller, and I know I'm rambling here, but stuff like this is interesting to me. On a smaller, I say smaller in terms of quality, it's what they do in MLS. There are a bunch of teams that have different niches within the market. Like, for example, the New York Red Bulls or Philly are big into their player development, young player development. So if you're a young player and you're looking at the landscape of teams that want you, I'm going Philly because I know for a fact they play the youngsters, they play the kids, they're big into that, they develop really well. So I know if I'm going Philly, I'm probably developing as a footballer.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where I'm not going. I'm not going to DC United because they don't fucking develop anyone. I'm not going to Toronto because they haven't developed a fucking kid there in years. If I'm a young American player, I'll tell you where I'm going if I'm, or I would go or who I'm attracting if I was Toronto a few years ago, is those players at the end of their career that wanted a big payday. But it's about trying to build towards something.
Yeah, I mean, since we're already on the topic of Enciso, I might as well bring it into this and get CP's opinion on it as well. So let's get right into Enciso and talk about Strasbourg a little bit. Chelsea Strasbourg closing in on the agreement to sign Julio Enciso from Brighton. Deal details being fixed, but Enciso expected to join Strasbourg for season 25-26, then Chelsea player for the future, as the Athletic reports. Then we have here from Fabrizio, and this all happened yesterday. You can get my reaction on the Chelsea Hour Show. This all happened literally out of nowhere, out of left field. Julio Enciso will join Blue Coat Group, spending this season at Strasbourg, then joining Chelsea. Here we go. Excuse me. Just one season in France, then future at Chelsea. Contract until 2031, plus the option until 2032. 20 million euro package to Brighton, add-ons included, medical on Thursday, which is today. Julio Enciso will be a Strasbourg player this season, and then be a Chelsea player until June 2031. The medical test will take place in London on Thursday. New part of Chelsea's future project. Chelsea saw an opportunity and decided to close fast. The fee for Julio Enciso is 16 million euro. Enciso is viewed as Chelsea player in the long term. He was signed for Brighton, by now Chelsea Sporting Director Paul Winstanley. So Winstanley signed him at Brighton. Now we're signing him for Strasbourg, then potentially to Chelsea, according to the outlets. Julio Enciso details: £12 million plus add-ons. Brighton have a sell-on clause. Medical in London tomorrow. 1 year at Strasbourg. Returns to Chelsea summer 2026. Will be a Chelsea player until 2031. Option to extend to 2032, according to Fabrizio. Blue Co have found and this is kind of an opinion piece, but also something to look into. Blueco have found a clever loophole in Julio Enciso's deal. This seems like a Matisse Amugu kind of deal. Julio Enciso will play at Strasbourg this season, then move to Chelsea on contract until June 2031. 15 million base fee plus add-ons of 5 million, 20 million package. Latest, RC Strasbourg are interested in signing Brighton forward Julio Enciso League One. Yeah, well, we went over that. That should have put that in the beginning. Sorry. And Chelsea insists there is no promise. This is according to Cyril Olives in L'Equipe. Chelsea insists that there's no promise of a move to Stamford Bridge for Enciso. It is up to the player to play well enough at Strasbourg to be considered for the future. Blueco convinced him of this plan, which this looks more likely to be the truth here, because as of right now, the player is recovering from a knee injury. He should be back in October, is what I was told, and when he recovers from the injury, we'll see how well he plays. But I do think this is a great move in terms for price. I do see where people are saying we could potentially just flip him because it was such a great price. Considering I'd like to know how much that sell-on clause is. But it does look like a flip price as well from that angle. But in terms of for Strasbourg, it's a good player that when he's fit, he's cooked us a few times at Chelsea, especially the guy has a freaking rocket for a foot. I think there's a good player there. There is potential that he could come to Chelsea. If things don't work out with Simmons, maybe he is like a backup plan or whatever. I know he can play on that left-handed side, even though he prefers more of the attacking mid. I think he's more of a left forward from what I've seen at Brighton, but you never know. He could be profiled differently at Strasbourg, and we could see something else from a different position. But CP, obviously, me and Scott talked a little bit about Enciso and how this deal kind of is good for Strasbourg, but doesn't seem to make sense from Strasbourg point of view because it's going to be a player that's going to be for Chelsea eventually, not for Strasbourg. But that aside, what do you think about this deal? How do you feel about it?
I'm saying it's great value for money. I think the whole pitch for many of the players who joined Strasbourg is if you play well enough, we might buy you, and you might come. That's what happened with Mamadou Sarr. Right? I think that's how we got people like Barco who joined in January and balled out and are continuing to ball out in the midfield. Right? I'm assuming so. And we're talking to Enciso about joining Strasbourg, right?
Yeah.
Because we didn't know Brighton wasn't the right environment for us. Come here, we're playing amazing football. The coach is amazing. Come join us, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the pitch. The pitch overall is if you play well enough, you're probably going to get bought by Chelsea. They'll take a look at you, and if you're good enough to make it in the squad, you'll stick. If not, we're good at finding you a club where you can continue flourishing your career. That's what we did. We got Veiga for a year. What did we do? In that year, we got him to Villarreal with a 40% sell-on. So it's not like we're throwing them to these shitty teams or organizations, right? We buy them. You're going to get your shot. You do well taking your shot, you'll stay and you'll replace someone else. If not, then you're going to be sold on in a year or two, and that's fine. It's not like we're happy with their careers. We're seeing if they're good enough for our level. If they're not, they're getting moved on to a level that's more familiar, which is not a side that's challenging for leagues, but maybe a top 6 side or 7 side in a top 5 league, which isn't bad either. So yeah, I think it's a great price, so I wouldn't mind.
Do you think that Enciso can potentially be good enough for Chelsea?
Nope.
It depends. He could be. What I mean is, I think this year is Neto's make or break season.
Okay.
Because Quenda's coming to basically take his chain.
Okay.
That's what happened. Because Quenda this season.
One more time, CP, you kind of broke up there a little bit.
Since Amarin left. Sorry. Quenda, when Amarin left, right, he played on the left side. So he can play both wings. Very similar to Neto. Left-footed, like Neto. Has a great pass on him, like Neto. So I think he's here to take that. Sorry, yeah, no, I'm saying like he's there to take that chain. That's what I think is happening. So, so,
I
so
can
that's
see
what
it.
I don't. I think what's his face? Quenda comes in to be that player on the left hand side. That's why I think the Garnacho transfer is such a waste of time, because he's going to be gone in a year, because Quenda's going to take his side. The only way, like I'll use what I said earlier about the lap and the Omega thing. The only way I see Enciso having the future at Chelsea is if he has that like meteoric level up, which he might do. I'm not saying he can't,
Yeah.
but he might do. And if Gittins has such a just nothing season that he doesn't really prove anything as a footballer, and like at that point, then Enciso comes in to replace Gittins. Which, like, if that happens, obviously I don't think we lose out money, because I think our owners, our sporting director, and the good sellers. But it's just a case of like, it's another player you signed, and it just didn't work. Like, it just full on the flop. That's the only way I see him play for Chelsea, because he's going to come into Chelsea next season with every position filled and the backup filled. So he's got to take someone's position. Not even that. He's going to come next season with all the positions filled and an extra guy in Garnacho or whoever the other person is. So he's already starting from a deficit in terms of, because all these players would have played with Maresca. So I don't see where he, like, I don't see where the opportunity is for him. Like Maldini said it earlier, and Jay said it earlier as well. I even said it when we signed him. Like, big up to him. He's going to do really well at Strasbourg, I think. When he comes to Chelsea, it's the biggest flip I've ever seen. He's never playing for Chelsea. He's getting flipped immediately. So it's why ultimately, like, I'm gassed for Strasbourg to an extent, and I do like they're signing these kind of players, and it's interesting to a point, but I don't really care, because it doesn't affect Chelsea in any way in terms of he's never playing for Chelsea, in my opinion.
I mean, fair enough. I think there could be... wait, according to reports from France, he's not coming immediately.
But again, that is like just contradictory to every other report from Fabrizio, from Ornstein, from everyone is saying the plan is to sign him on a contract next season. So unless the plan is to loan him out immediately, which I'll be honest, just keep him there. Again, like, for me, like I said earlier, this whole signing should just be Strasbourg are buying him for this price. You give him the contract till 2031. That's calm with Strasbourg, and then you assess from there, because it's the same. Like, it's like you mentioned, Marshall. It's the same with every player. Like, there is a chance with how he's played, and I don't know what the chance is, because obviously we've got players in the position in terms of Hatter and whatnot. Barco has had a really good season and has obviously moved into centre mid playing there now. Yeah. There's a chance if he keeps playing the way,
right?
Say again?
Barco is like somewhat inverting. He's a left back, but he's been inverting into that left midfield.
Was a left back, but like towards the latter end of last season, he was playing. What's it called? He was playing just playing in midfield. So he's someone that if he continues playing, you could see him potentially making the step up if there's a place. Yeah. There's no element of he's joining Chelsea. This like he's joining Chelsea. Like, you just see it happen over time. It's the same with Omega's a little bit different because obviously you've got the positions filled, but it's a case of like, if we hadn't signed a lap, you've got Omega there as a really good option to bring in as the backup, right? Because how he's performing. Just because there's that option there of how he's performing. So that's what I'm saying. You just sign him to Strasbourg. Don't put this idea or don't put this pressure of he's going to then join Chelsea. Cool, I know what the plan is then. He's just being flipped. Like, we're just gonna sell him for 50 million in a year's time when he probably does really well for Strasbourg in the Conference League and in the league. Which is cool. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying I just don't have to care then. I just don't have to get to attach to this player in any single way, shape, or form, because it doesn't affect my club in terms on the pitch, I mean.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a player we're gonna have to look into, see how it goes. And again, I have a lot of attention on Strasbourg this season.
I need to watch more of their games.
I think there's a good team there that could definitely, like Scott was saying earlier, could definitely be a mainstay in top four if they keep building correctly and in the right direction, which does in turn help out Blue Coast Project because now I think the ideal plan, this is just my opinion, the ideal plan is pretty much what Scott was saying, which is build up the reputation for Strasbourg as a consistent top four outlier, a Champions League team, which then makes it a more attractive option for players to join and just be a player for Strasbourg. And eventually when space does run out at Chelsea, unless you're inevitably good like an Esteval who's like, oh wow, this guy's clearly good and needs to go to the mother team, which is Chelsea, build a team that's good enough to sustain top four, have a reputation. You start, having to develop Strasbourg to be just as good as any other team in that League league. And, unless there's a player who's, like I said, clearly good, and there's no reason why they should be at Strasbourg and not Chelsea, then you have a good squad at Strasbourg and also a good squad at Chelsea with good players in both squads, preferably the better players in Chelsea's squad, but still you have a good enough squad to compete in full front. Obviously, we'll see how that works out when it does happen, because obviously double ownership in European competition is like not allowed. So there's probably some loophole there or something, but I think making Strasbourg an attractive option is the go-to move. That way you build up Strasbourg reputation, their popularity, and you start to garner the trust of the actual ultras and the fans of Strasbourg there who don't like you as a result of previous American ownerships, and which it makes sense. I understand. All right, let's slide into a little bit of some squad planning stuff that I've seen. And kind of a little bit more catch-up work here that I had to do, obviously, because I haven't been doing a show lately. Real quick, let's just get into this, and if we have any thoughts, talk about it, and then move on to the next topic if not. So a bit of an update as to what's going on in terms of moves in and out of the club. Nkunku due to leave, talks going on between Bayern and Leipzig, which we're going to go over. Jackson can leave in case of important proposal. It looks like Jackson is very likely to leave. If we have time today, we will discuss that as well, if not in the next show. Sterling has some links with West Ham, Fulham. We'll see what happens. That might be a deadline day move.
I think the Fulham thing, and I say this not out of any knowledge other than just assuming, I think it's totally down to whether they get that other winger or not, because they're heavily linked with another winger who they're trying to sign, and I don't know if they put another bid in for him. If they get him, they literally don't need Sterling. No,
exactly. So that's going to be dependent as well as on their transfer business. Mark Guiu, pretty much gone to Sunderland with a clause that we're going to talk about at the end of this segment. Felix gone to Al Nassr. Tariq George can leave. There are clubs interested in Tariq George, which we'll discuss in a future show. I got to pull up those links. It's not done yet, obviously, but there are links. And Broja has gone to Burnley as well as a few other ones as well, but focus on Xavi Simons and Garnacho. I think the last show I did announce the Broja Here We Go, but I didn't get a chance to do the other Here We Go, so we'll talk about those briefly as well. Hashtag good news. Chelsea sporting directors Paul Winston and Laura Stewart, together with recruitment chiefs Joe Shields and Sam Jewell, have signed contract extensions that commit them to the club for the next 6 years. I guess a bit of a quick reaction from you.
Not good news.
Okay, this could have been sarcasm for all I know. The hashtag there.
I don't understand this in the slightest, because I don't think they've done anything that warrants a contract extension so far, especially when
it's too soon.
The other two, you can make an argument, because when it comes to Shields, you see his fingerprints all over this team.
Just joined, didn't he? This guy just joined last window. Not Shield. I don't understand Shields, but Jewel, I don't know about that one either.
Jewel is basically the guy. I don't know what his actual position is. He's the guy
that global.
He oversees Blue Co. recruitment in general in terms of, so he handles Strasbourg as well. Like he's heavily involved in Strasbourg particularly. So he seemingly has done a very good job with who they bought. Shields again has seemingly done a very good job in terms of, you look at the Palmer thing, the Lavia thing.
Yeah.
Like the early signs on Delap are good. Obviously there are things he needs to improve, but the early signs, especially for the fee, are decent. Who else have we signed that's been City? Is it just those guys? Tosin.
We'll see what happens.
Gittins is probably, again, so far the only unsure. It's like, that's not a word, is it? Like, he's the only unsure thing at the moment. But again, it's one game, not too worried.
Yeah.
The other two, like, they've not shown anything.
Other than outside of this window.
Like, they've not shown fuck all to deserve a contract extension. And I'm not even saying sacking them at this point. Like, obviously I was at some point, and they did at the time deserve to be sacked. They get a stay of execution currently because of certain things that are happening or whatever. And also, I don't think we get anyone else in. They don't deserve a contract extension.
I wouldn't even mind, because obviously recency bias right now. Like, I feel like this window, they've definitely improved drastically. They're doing much better work than they had the previous 2 windows. But I feel like if Blue Co is reacting based off of the business happening now, I feel like it's a little silly and too soon.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's just too soon. Like, for me, it's just too soon for them to get contract extensions. Like, if some of the guys they've signed this season hit, then we can have a conversation. Like, if João Pedro has the season we're expecting, cool. If actually even Esteban wasn't them, that was the South American dude we have. Who else have they been responsible for us signing this window?
Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart?
Yeah. Gittins with Shields.
Well, we'll see what happens when Xavi happens, right? Because Xavi's probably going to be one of their Garnacho, if that does happen. With Paul Winstanley's hands written all over it.
Pedro's definitely one of theirs because of the whole Winstanley thing.
Enciso is a Paul Winstanley, probably one.
Yeah, but that's that again. No, that's Strasbourg.
Not for Chelsea, but yeah.
Those two morons focus on Chelsea. Hato is probably one like theirs. I would imagine. Outside of that.
Well, if you also want to include, it's not in this window now, but potential, they're going to have potentially a future at Chelsea. You're looking at Kenda, Paez is probably one of, Paez was the recruiter, right? From Brazil. I forget his name.
The South American dude. Esugo, Esugo. So what we're saying is basically, as things currently stand, is Pedro. In terms of main contributor, because obviously Hato obviously will play, but I don't think he plays as much as we expect to begin with. I think Garnacho is just shit. Like, and I don't care. I'm not having that argument again. Xavi Simons, I think, is good. We haven't signed him yet.
Yeah.
As things stand, it's literally judging them on this window in terms of who they signed. Those two I'm talking about. Yeah.
The sales too, when you think about it.
Sales 100%, but like I think you could. Yeah. They've always been good at sales, 100%. But I also think you can find other people that can do that just as well. I mean, I said the same thing when Marina was here, and look what happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's as easily found as I'd like to believe, because we look at other clubs in comparison. Like, it's only really.
I think it is, as long as you look in the right places.
Maybe. We'll see if other clubs can do it.
I also do think it helps that we've always been a good selling club. I think part of that comes into it as well.
That is true. More tweets here. There is a belief inside the club that Chelsea have achieved relatively little in comparison to their long-term targets, according to Matt Law, which I agree. I think this is a good mentality to have. Don't settle for less. Yeah, it's nice that we won Club World Cup. It's nice that we won the Conference League, but we're Chelsea. We want to aspire for everything. And the league is definitely a big one on that list because it's been too long.
Yeah.
Just believe they have implemented the foundations of a sustainable model, and while more improvements are planned, the club are optimistic they are on track to compete for the biggest honors over the course of the next decade, which I hope you're right. And I hope this... Scott, do you think we've actually started to implement good foundations for a sustainable model? Do you think the verdict is still in the air for that? Maybe after this season you'll come to a conclusion?
Like, to an extent on both sides. Like, there's obviously there's certain things they've done which I think are a positive. Like the midfield, huge positive in terms of what they are building, what they have built, the staggering of ages, the concession plans, succession plans, whatever the word is, I don't know, for different players. I think it's fantastic. Can't fault them for that. Defense is 50-50. Certain areas, yes. Certain areas, no. The goalkeeper's just a straight no.
Unless Penders comes in and just...
And the attack, to be fair, is starting to, like, with what they've done this summer, starting to, it's starting to... The pieces starting to fit together. That's what I'm trying to say. I think, yes, but there's still... Like, the foundations are you're starting to see them a lot more, especially a lot more than we have previously. There's just still some level to go.
I do like that. I know not everyone's a fan of it, but I do like how we're going about future planning in the sense of, like, I know right now we don't have like a proper, like a good generational left winger, but if Kenda is as good as he's been touted to be, and he continues the performances that he's doing in Sporting, which you know very well how I feel about Liga NOS. Like, it's one thing to do it there, it's another thing to bring it to the Premier League. But to get him at the price that we got him when United were going after him, if he comes into the team next season, that's like building ahead of time. Even though most people would like to, get something for the now versus something for later on. But like, I do like the strategy of like, get the player now ahead of time while it's cheap, and then you won't have to worry about paying double or maybe triple the price that he's going to be worth in 2 years' times when you do need that position. Like I do like that strategy to an extent.
Yeah, and I do think
there is the foundations there.
Yeah, and I do think Master Michael makes another point as well. The sustainability. I think some of that comes with being able to sell these players. And obviously, it's not always going to work, but they have done a very good job of being able to sell players that are still, that have just been shit for us. I mentioned Felix earlier, Dewsbury Hall,
which we're gonna get on those as well.
Yeah, and then there's obviously other players in terms of not necessarily like some of the signings they're doing, where like the Veiga one. That guy could have flopped hard, and I don't think he flopped hard. I just think it obviously didn't go as well as people wanted it to.
Yeah,
but we've managed to nearly triple our money on him.
It's insane.
Because you bought him for so cheap. You want for 10 mil.
Yeah. In terms of continuing on with the squad planning, obviously we talked about this as center back. Enzo Maresca, it's a priority for me to get a new center back. We will see if we go for it. This was August 8th. Aaron Anselmino, which we know about Aaron Anselmino, we'll discuss that as well with the Carney and Dortmund situation. Anselmino is highly rated at Chelsea after integrating into the camp during the second half of last season and will be sent on loan. Teams in Europe have made an inquiry, according to The Athletic. The Athletic also reported due to injuries, can you get that out of the way? Thank you. Due to injuries to key Chelsea center backs, the following young center backs will be stepping in. At right center back, you have Achimpong as cover for Fofana, Aaron Anselmino as cover for Levi Colwill, and Hato as cover for Benoit Badiashile. According to The Athletic, well, obviously Anselmino might be the exception to that as of recent news. Chelsea will not be signing a defender to replace Colwill and are happy with the defensive depth they have amassed, according to Liam Toomey in The Athletic. Anselmino could be kept around this season if Maresca deems him ready. Obviously, we have here Chelsea feel no urgent need to delve into the summer transfer market to replace Levi Colwill. On a center back, Enzo Maresca trusts Chalobah and Tosin, and Fofana is nearing a return. Hato is equally capable of playing at center back, Our left back, when purchased, Badiashile was regarded as close to equivalent talent to Colwill with a similar profile, according to The Athletic. And two more tweets here. Alongside the excitement, there is also recognition within the club that Esteval will need time to adjust to his new surroundings and to adapt to English football. He will be eased in at Chelsea. And then on the Guiu situation as well, I figured I'd add this in. Chelsea added a fine clause in Mark Guiu's loan to Sunderland, which will be triggered if the forward doesn't play a certain number of minutes, which we'll see come January if he gets recalled or not.
Fucking waste of time.
We'll see. He was on the bench for Sunderland.
Marshall, no, it's not. We'll see. It's a waste of time. This is the third one of these clauses they've put in. It's the third clause that isn't going to mean shit all, because you're dealing with clubs, and this is one area I think they've got wrong a little bit, where when it comes to loans, like Sunderland, I believe with the signing of Mukiele, which they made yesterday or the day before, have just broken the record.
Former Leipzig player, right? Mukiele?
Yeah, they've just broken the record for the most money spent by a promoted team in the Premier League. They don't give a shit about some little fine. They are spending money like it's going out of fashion. They don't give a shit about some little fine.
Yeah.
Like, because again, it's the same instance as it was with the Santos thing and the Broja thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not even saying, by the way, this is not me trying to say he's worse than who they've got, but they might think he is, right? Yeah. It's more beneficial to them to play Isidore or Mayenda ahead of him and potentially finish 12th than it is to play Hugh and potentially finish 14th, because the difference in money basically just covers that fine. It was the same with Santos. Mm. And again, it's not me trying to say these players are worse than who they have, but it's about margin for error. I talked about it earlier. They're more comfortable currently because Mayenda and Isidore were there last season, played most of the games. They're more comfortable. Their manager is playing both of them because they understand the system from day one. They understand everything. They've even tweaked the system this season, but both of them show they can play there in terms of playing in that lone striker as opposed to in a 2, which they played last season. You don't have to teach them anything. You don't have to have a young kid come in and hope he learns the system. If he doesn't, take some time for him to learn that. Okay, maybe you drop points here, drop points there. All of a sudden, relegation battle. And then who are you relying on? The guys that have been here for a couple of years, who you know, or the 19-year-old kid who's just come in that's on loan that you can't even do anything with going forward. Mm-hmm. Like that's the unfortunate way that some of these loans work in football. Yeah. So they don't give a shit about the fine clause. Same way Fulham didn't give a shit about the fine clause because they had Muniz scoring most weeks. They didn't care. Same way Forest didn't care about the fine clause because it made more sense for them at the time. Whether they were right or wrong, it looks like they were probably wrong. But for them, it just made more sense to play. Who the fuck did they have in midfield at the time? Sangare and whoever they played. I don't think it was Yates, but I might be wrong. Mm-hmm. But it just made more sense for them. So just don't care. And that's what it is. So he's going to spend the whole season not playing, doing fuck all, which is, or not necessarily a whole season, but 6 months, which is calm. I think Cenac said this in Joey's group chat. Someone said this. Looks like all these young Chelsea players have to get one shit loan out there. You know, just a rite of passages at this point, and then hopefully you send him somewhere better, like you send him to Ipswich or something. Because I know you couldn't predict this, but they literally just sold an attacker 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. I think they have one striker or two strikers, maybe, but that was a team that you could have sent him to and pushed. But like, it's cool. It is what it is. It's gonna fail, in my opinion. But you just gotta hope that you can recall him in January and send him to somewhere else for 6 months and he smashes it like Santos did.
One could hope. You know, that is the hope. And I mean, I agree. Like, I don't know if you could have predicted that Sunderland were going to continue to move the way they're moving it.
No, for the strike again, it's the same with the Forest thing. They had two strikers ahead of him before he joined, and so he was at best going to be the bench. If they kept the same formation they did last season, he was at best the bench striker. What you couldn't have predicted, and I agree, is the formation change to them switching to a single striker 4-3-3. So now he's not even the bench striker. Like, he is on the bench, but he's the second guy up off the bench. It's either Isidore or Mayenda, whichever one isn't playing. but you could predict he was going to be our best third choice striker. Like, I even said that when the move happened. So, like, it is what it is. It sucks for him and for us ultimately because like he just doesn't develop how you want. But you just got to move.
Yeah, we'll see. Like,
but by the way, on this point, I'm not saying you won't be a hit. I'm saying it's about opportunity to play. Dacho Fofana went to a Burnley team where they had Lyle Foster, who I think was playing out wide at the time, and I think also got injured. So he was out. They didn't have Barnes at this point. They had Amdouni, who was doing literally fuck all, like nothing. Amdouni, Foster, and I think that might have been it. So there was like two strikers, and they played a two-striker formation. They had one striker playing on the wing, I think. So that there was opportunities for him to play and contribute from minute one. Whereas with Hugh, there isn't just because of who's ahead of him. Like, if he joins in January and Mayenda has spent a whole season doing nothing, then it's a different story because, okay, it's a new striker coming in. Maybe he can be a hit. I think it's just timing. Like, I think if Fofana comes in at the start of that season for Burnley, when they've got Foster fully fit, I think they just signed Amdouni, or Amdouni had been really good in the Championship for them. Maybe he gets less opportunities, or he has to play on the wing at that time, similar to how Foster did. So it's just timing. So I don't think it's quite the same. Like, he probably could be a hit at Sunderland. It's just because of the timing, he's got two guys ahead of him. And like Axe said, did both of them score? I know. Oh yeah, no, both of them just scored.
Yeah.
So you just got no opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like what you said, if they do right now, their priority is to stay in the Prem, right? And they're going to prioritize that over developing some player that they just got on loan. Like, they'll take a fee any day if it means they will stay up in the league. But you know, early onset, earlier in the season right now is probably Guiu's best chance to actually get some starts, and we'll see if he is given the opportunity. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but it's also not, you know, impossible. But time will tell with that one. Let's see how Sunderland continue to play this season, and how if Guiu does get his chances, or if the manager even stays. You never know. Like, that's usually a factor that takes into effect. Like, we saw that happen with Southampton last season when UGOCHUKWU finally started to get some minutes because of a change of manager. But all right, let's actually talk a little bit about some of the older news that happened, just to catch up myself and get some of my reactions out there. I never talked about this, but KDH, here we go. This happened. And I actually think it's a pretty good move for Kiernan. Let's go ahead and look at some of the tweets that happened. Chelsea are looking for a fee around £30 million for Kiernan Dewsbury Hall amid talks to Everton over a permanent move, according to The Athletic. Fabrizio also said Everton submit official bid for KDH to join on permanent deal from Chelsea club to club talks underway. Everton are confident in finalizing the transfer for KDH, with the deal almost agreed. And then exclusive, Everton submit official bid for KDH to join permanent deal from Chelsea. Club to club talks underway. Chelsea open to this option, with discussions ongoing on terms for Everton. And then obviously we have here exclusive, KDH to Everton. Here we go. Permanent deal agreed with Chelsea and players side. Understood. Fee is worth around £25 million fixed plus add-ons, up to 28 to 29 million pounds total package. KDH, UGOCHUKWU, and Chukwuemeka are all leaving Chelsea on a permanent deal. We'll talk about UGOCHUKWU next. Everton will pay Chelsea $25.9 million plus $4 million in add-ons for KDH deal. It's now being formalized for an agreement as reached in principle between clubs. Dewsbury Hall had initially been reluctant to leave Chelsea after a season playing in a support role. And I think I have one more. Here we go. And then the sale of KDH is particularly important as UEFA's recent punishment for financial control violations suggests Chelsea must sell players from their last Conference League squad to ensure a positive transfer balance this summer. If not, they can't register new signings like João Pedro, Gittins, and Liam Delap for Champions League by September. I think another one to keep in mind for that is going to be Xavi Simons and potentially Garnacho if he actually comes to Chelsea. But I think this is a good. Obviously, we made a little bit of a loss on this one, I believe. But
I
considering
think we signed him for 30, and if he hits all the add-ons, I think we get what we paid.
it's a very, very minor loss. And considering how much he played for Chelsea last season, considering considering how much he played for Chelsea last season, I think it's actually pretty good that we got nearly all of our money back for the player. And honestly, for the player's sake himself, I think Everton, and considering how Everton's moving with the Jack Grealish move and all of that, I think Everton's actually a good option for him. I think he's going to do well for them.
He immediately started for them the other night.
I believe so. Yeah. And he gets to play his position that he prefers, which is more that attacking 10.
I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Scott? This is a good
it's a good move for him. Like I said, he went there and immediately started, which makes sense. They just lost Cucurella. They've got Garner playing left back now, which kind of worked against Leeds, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. So there's another space for him in midfield. What else they got in there? They got obviously Gay.
It's not a loss, Marshall. We should Golding to Leicester for $5 million. Remember? Oh yeah, I guess so, right?
I forgot about that transfer. Jesus fucking Christ,
yeah,
Leicester. Why the
hell? Really forgot about that.
Why, man? Just why did you buy him? I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think like it's definitely a good move for him. He's going to get game time there, and he's going to perform well, I think. It's just I think just a case of for us, like we obviously needed to sell him. He wasn't going to play. He was 6th choice midfielder. Yes, good move.
You were okay with selling him, right? Like you weren't on the fence about him.
I was okay either way, honestly. Like
yeah, I felt the same way.
Because like he didn't exactly like. I thought he performed well in the Club World Cup, so I was kind of calm if he stayed. I understand why we sold him because the whole UEFA thing. Like I really didn't care either way. It wasn't like I was with him at the start of the season where it's just like just watching him play just hurt my soul.
It was rough in the beginning
because he was just not very good. As time went on, like he performed well. He did what he needed to do when asked. So yeah, like I didn't really have any hard feelings for him when he left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel the same way. Like I think I liked him as a member of the team, so there's that. I think he was a good player to have in the locker room. I also do think he did serve a general good purpose for the club. Like he came in, did a shift. Some of his worst shifts were always at the right wing position. I just think putting him in the wing was always a waste of a position, but he would play it, wouldn't complain, never threw a fuss like we're seeing certain wingers in other Mancunian clubs right now. But yeah, I think he's been an outstanding professional. If he had stayed, I think we were seeing better games towards the latter half of the season, and even in Club World Cup. So there was more consistency there. But I think the player, even at Leicester, which is why like I had high expectations for him to an extent at Chelsea to be like a good attacking option off the bench. We started seeing a little bit more of that towards the end of the season, but obviously that's not good. That's not Chelsea level. But there is a good player there that probably deserves more play time. And at a place like Everton, I think he can truly continue his trajectory and definitely refine his career, or even like his development, I guess. I say development, but I think, no, he is relatively young, right?
25, 26.
Yeah, it's not a bad age, so I think that's a good age for him. Like, you should be playing consistent game time. You should be a starter for a team. And I think Everton's a good fit, especially if you got Jack Grealish on your left-hand side. Like, I think Everton might actually... I don't think they'll be a top 8 side, but I think they will be a relatively difficult team to beat this season. So,
yeah, I think like they obviously need to play better than they did last game, but I think some of that had to do with their absolutely atrocious, like the strike they had.
They ended up losing, right? 1-0.
Yep, 1-0, and they were the second best team in that game. Like they, outside of like a 25-minute, 30-minute spell in the second half, they were just not it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's going to take some time for them to develop and Moyes to get, a tune out of the guys. Let's go into the other one. And this one's kind of a double whammy here. Let me just make sure I have. Okay, we'll end it right there. This one's a double whammy, which is UGOCHUKWU and Broja. Here we go. I can't believe we actually managed to pull this off for Broja specifically. But let's go ahead and discuss it. I know I did do the Broja Here We Go in the previous show, but we finally got a fee, which is included in this segment here. So Chelsea midfielder Lesley UGOCHUKWU is traveling to Burnley to complete his medical after a fee was agreed. Project outgoings is going very well at Stamford Bridge, especially when comparing to some of the rivals like Manchester United this summer. Burnley reached an agreement with Chelsea to sign Lesley UGOCHUKWU, 21-year-old set to travel. He's only 21. Holy shit. 21-year-old is set to travel for medical and complete permanent move for Chelsea to Bayern on a 5-year contract. France Youth International significantly bolsters Scott Parker's options at number 6/8. After Armando Broja, Lesley UGOCHUKWU also leaves Chelsea, joins Burnley on permanent deal, as reported by Ornstein. Agreement done for both players. Chelsea going fast on outgoings and KDH to Everton next, which this all happened relatively around the same time. And this is the official post. Lesley UGOCHUKWU authorized for medical at Burnley after permanent deal agreed with Chelsea. Both Armando Broja and UGOCHUKWU signed a permanent deal. Contracts to be signed and sealed this week. Here we go. Chelsea will receive a total fee of around £45 million from Burnley for Broja and UGOCHUKWU. Chelsea received fee around £45 million. Broja was sold for £20 million, with UGOCHUKWU being sold for £25 million. That's incredible business, in my opinion. I think it's kind of bad. It's risky business for Burnley when it comes to Broja. For Lesley, good player. I think hopefully the rest of this window, for Burnley's sake, they recruit a few players that improve that midfield around Lesley, because Lesley can't do it by himself. But then again, I don't know much about Burnley's midfield, so I can't speak on the quality. But UGOCHUKWU himself isn't gonna change, redefine your midfield. You're gonna have to at least have one good 8 in there as well to help him out, and you can probably have a pretty solid midfield with UGOCHUKWU at that price too. It's kind of a bargain. Broja, kind of. Maybe we give him a better deal on UGOCHUKWU so they can take Broja. Because $20 million from Broja is also a steal for us in that sense. Like we shouldn't. We have no business making that kind of profit off of that player, especially considering his last 2 seasons, 3 really. So how we got £20 million out of that? Maybe it has to do with the price that we gave him for Lesley UGOCHUKWU. Because I thought UGOCHUKWU would have gone for 40. I'll be so honest with you.
Potentially. I don't think the loan last season helped in that respect.
They got lucky at the tail end when we started playing more, obviously. But that's luck. Obviously, we can't with these loans. We gotta not rely on so much luck anymore, because it's starting to get a little too risky. But yeah, how do you feel about these deals too, Scott? I mean, I didn't get your opinion.
What's it called? The Broja one is unreal. Like, how the fuck you managed to get him to spend that money on Broja is nuts. He wasn't even in their squad, by the way, for the first game of the season. I don't know if he's injured. Wasn't in their squad. Fair play.
I don't know. That one I don't know. That one's. What are you telling them?
Yeah, that's incredible. But yeah, the UGOCHUKWU one, I think will be really good for them. I think he was on the bench in their first game. I can't remember if he came off the bench. I wasn't watching that game.
I saw that he did come on as a sub.
Fair enough.
I'll just check it again.
But yeah, I think that will be really good for them, and I think he eventually does become the starter in their team. Through time. But yeah, I think that's a really good move.
Came off. Yeah.
Nice. I think that's a really good move for him and for Burnley. I wish him the best.
Well, let me ask you this. Does UGOCHUKWU does Burnley have a decent enough midfield with UGOCHUKWU in there? Because obviously UGOCHUKWU alone isn't going to be enough, but like I was saying before, if you surround him with some decent players, he might cook. Do they have those players at
maybe
Burnley?
like not really. Like, I think Burnley are like a shoe-in to get relegated, to be honest, in the coming season. I think he eventually becomes the starter next to Cullen. I think he replaces Laurent. But yeah, as long as he plays, it's good for him. I don't know how their midfield sets up. I don't watch them on a regular basis, so I can't really comment on that. But as long as he gets the opportunities, I think he'll smash it. He just has to get those opportunities. Yeah, and like I said, I think he will do well. I think he'll be one of their better players. It sucks for him. He's going to have another relegation on his CV. Like it's going to be probably nothing against him as a player.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate. But yeah, no, like I just hope as long as he plays, like I said, and just shows what he's capable of, he can get that Lavia type move. You know, maybe in a year's time if he smashes it, maybe a Bournemouth or a Brighton or a team like that takes a punt on him. You know.
Yeah. CP, what are your thoughts on the UGOCHUKWU and Broja? So Broja win for £20 million. UGOCHUKWU win for £25 million to Burnley. I think it's pretty freaking incredible business. At least in terms of Broja himself, like that. It's insane that we even got 20 million for him. But I mean, what are your thoughts?
No, I definitely agree with the Broja. The Leslie situation, I can kind of get, because it's like you're so stacked in midfield with the players you have now, so there's no point. I just want to say a quick shout out to because I was listening to you guys while driving back. The Conference League KDB. Some people, some people, who have platforms. Marshall didn't believe in him in the beginning like I did. Me and Prime. I'm saying the Conference League KDB, man, my baller. You know what? Just to be petty, I remember his goal more than Nkunku in the Club World Cup. Hold that, Marshall. Hold that. Hold that.
Why have you got a clip of him still?
Because I haven't updated my thing yet. I'll update all
but
this.
Besides that point, I don't know. Great money for Broja. I'll be honest, we should be investigated even more so. I'm not gonna lie. Like us getting 20 million for Broja after him. Do you know how many goals he scored in the past 3 years in the Premier League?
3.
2.
And one of them was the one where it was us against Fulham when it got kicked off of him, wasn't it?
Yeah, the deflected shot. I remember that one.
He scored a grand total of 4 Premier League goals in 4 years. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. So
I feel bad for the player because he's gotten really unlucky since that ACL injury.
Yeah, like and he's another one where like I do think that with I don't know about the manager, but I do think Burnley is a good place for him to potentially like rebuild his career. Because again, it's similar to the conversation I had earlier. Their strikers at the moment are Ashley Barnes. Like, for fuck's sake, you hope he can play over Ashley Barnes when he's fit. Lyle Foster still.
Ashley Barnes, for fuck's sake?
Like 38, I think, or something. I don't know. But yeah, you got Ashley Barnes. You got Lyle Foster again, still. You've got Amdouni is there, injured? But I don't think Amdouni is playing. And you've got Zion Fleming. So like, if he actually gets back to what he was at Southampton, he's got a chance of playing. And I do think Burnley's a good spot for him where, like, even if they get relegated, cool. He then potentially plays in the Championship for a year. I think that'd be really good for him. So yeah, I do think that's a good spot. It's just I don't understand how the fuck we got that money. No idea.
I think part of it has to do with like a cut price for UGOCHUKWU, just so they can get both. Because I feel like UGOCHUKWU, you could probably get away with a £40 million transfer fee for that. Yeah. I think UGOCHUKWU.
Yeah, but Marshall, that makes no sense to me because the total price of that deal for UGOCHUKWU is less than the price for both of them.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't think Broja is a £20 million player. It would be lucky if we even got 10 or 15, maybe. Probably lucky if we got 10 for Broja. So I think when you combine it, the way I see it is like maybe we did like 37, like maybe we valued like UGOCHUKWU at 37 and Broja was somewhere like around 10 or 5 mil. Like, you know, like kind of like together, we'll give you to them together for 45. It kind of covers both. Just get rid of this
that just seems like a weird deal to do. If
that is a weird deal.
If I'm what's it called? Burnley. Like that just doesn't make any sense to me to do that deal.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But yeah, I do wish both of them the best, to be honest. That all that aside, especially Broja. I mean, I really do hope he can turn it around because I do like him as a player, and I did have high hopes for him when he made his appearance at Chelsea, but things didn't work out. And Leslie, I just think he got hard done by, just never really given a proper chance under any manager. Well, under Pochettino, but Pochettino run him to the ground. So there's that.
What a shit.
Yeah. Let's get into a little bit of what's going on with Xavi Simons, because this is an eye roller. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's been going on for so damn long, and we know why. We'll go over why if we have time today, with other things going on. But yeah, let's get a little bit of an update on what's going on with Xavi Simons and get a little bit up to speed. Okay, here we go. So we'll start off with this first tweet. And hopefully I don't repeat myself because I've been low-key working on these in the background. And hopefully I don't put too many repeat tweets in there. But Chelsea always had the exits as priority before getting Xavi Simons' deal done, while talks with Red Bull Leipzig remain advanced. Broja, Felix, UGOCHUKWU, Giyu, KDH, more to follow soon as direction is clear. Xavi made clear to Leipzig he wants Chelsea. This was as of August 4th. We continue moving forward. Leipzig remain firm on their asking price of around 70 million euros all in, while waiting for Chelsea's first official offers, according to Sky Sports Germany. Red Bull Leipzig have contacted Liverpool over the potential signing of Harvey Elliott, as they see him as a direct replacement for Chelsea target Xavi Simons, who could leave the German club in the closing weeks of the transfer window, according to David Ornstein. Remind me, I believe there is progress being made on this, but there's been no here we go yet. Excuse me. And I think the here we go comes as soon as potentially Jackson or Nkunku leave, which is kind of what we're waiting for with this.
Well, apparently, according to a few sources, I don't remember where from, each deal is linked with each outgoing, if that makes sense. So the Garnacho one is linked with Jackson leaving, and the Simmons one is linked with Nkunku leaving. So like if Nkunku leaves, I think we then sign Simmons. If Jackson leaves, we then sign Garnacho.
Yeah, I think I do have some tweets on that as well. We continue on. Chelsea are hoping to agree a fee for Simons under £50 million. Their valuation is 45 to 50 million pounds. Champions League club in Germany, Italy, and England are interested in Jackson, which if we have time, we'll go over Jackson. Xavi Simons is expected to cost Chelsea about 61 million pounds, and Leipzig are targeting Liverpool's Harvey Elliott as a potential replacement, according to Ed Aarons. So this is translated from a German source. Total agreement between Chelsea and Leipzig for Xavi Simons for approximately 60 million pounds for the playmaker. A contract is ready until 2032. Deal concluded. Transfer to be finalized only from a bureaucratic perspective. I guess personal terms. Breaking, Chelsea have now reached a full agreement with Red Bull Leipzig for Xavi Simons in a deal that will cost approximately 60 million pounds, according to the same source. Sasha Tavaleri said Man City entered the race for Chelsea target Xavi Simons, and Xavi Simons had already agreed full terms with Chelsea and is still waiting patiently to join. Chelsea need further player offloads before finalizing Xavi Simons' deal, according to Platigo and Sky Sports Germany. Chelsea continued to work with Xavi Simons' deal. Simons wants Chelsea. Chelsea are trying to find right structure with a solution for Nkunku, the priority. For Nkunku, he could be open to join Leipzig if there is a good proposal from Leipzig. Tottenham tried to hijack Xavi Simons' deal to Chelsea a few days ago, but he said no. Hold that. Spurs. Another important English club, not Man City or Arsenal, probably Spurs, tried to sign Xavi Simons, but the player position is he wants Chelsea. I'm told the situation with Xavi Simons is not changing. Chelsea are working on a deal, but there is still no agreement. I can guarantee there are still negotiations for Simons, but have not agreed. So let's see what happens. According to Fabrizio Romano, August 13th. We fast forward to August 16th. Simons could have left Red Bull Leipzig for around 70 million pounds, but the Bundesliga club realistically could now accept an offer for the region of 60 million pounds. Bayern director of sport Max Erbel has a strong connection with Simons, but he is wholly focused on moving to Chelsea, according to CFC Bayern. The current plan for Leipzig is to start Xavi Simons against Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga opener on Friday. After that, the move to Chelsea is set to be completed. Xavi only wants Chelsea move, according to Plenty Goals. So, this kind of tells me that there's a deal that's kind of already been agreed. It's just a matter of waiting for that outgoing that is necessary to get this player into the squad. Are we bored with this already?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we all agree. Like,
Tell
this
me
has
when it's
been.
signed.
Which saga lasted longer, the Havertz saga or this one?
This one, or maybe I don't know. I don't remember the Havertz one, to be completely
Don't
honest.
forget
Maybe
the
this is like
Caicedo saga.
the Caicedo one was
The Caicedo
fucking
saga
long
did
as well.
last a while. But,
Because at least,
yeah.
what I will say, at least with this saga, we know the transfer's done. We just have to keep hearing this fucking nonsense because we can't get rid of one player. Like, that's why we keep hearing this nonsense. With the Caicedo one was worse because it was literally like we were banging our heads against the wall, trying to bid under what they wanted.
Yeah.
To eventually, but that one just felt like I was smacking my head against the wall on a regular basis. This one at least feels like it's done. It's just like, it's just in limbo. That's all it is. It's just in limbo because we're trying to sell Nkunku.
Mm-hmm. Would you guys actually be disappointed if this fell through?
Yes.
Yes, because it means we're getting Garnacho. And it means that Garnacho is the backup to left wing. And it means he gets regular minutes next season.
Do you think that if we get Simons, we don't get Garnacho?
No, I think we get both, but I think
okay.
I think if Simons comes in, I think there's a bet you're more likely potentially to see him play left wing. Hopefully, like some of this is hope as well, obviously, than Garnacho.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least if both of them come in, my hope is Garnacho gets literally João Felix minutes of like here's 2 minutes a game where he can't do enough to fuck up the game for the rest of us or for the rest of the players, and that's it. Like that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Whereas if Simons doesn't happen, I have to watch Garnacho get actual regular minutes in his first team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No,
What do you
Marshall,
think, CP?
I think you heard when we were watching on Discord the Palace game. What my ideal three is, right? Like my ideal front three is Simons on the left, Palmer in the middle, Esteval on the right, because all three of them can play all the other positions. All of them can play cam. All of them have played right wing. All of them can play left wing. Like I want that fluidity that PSG has in the front line. That's what I want. So for that to happen, I need a Xavi Simons. Because that would cause so much chaos, just having players that can play all these positions at any point in time and just interchange so much that it would just cause havoc and so much space and creativity, even more for our strikers or for a box crasher like an Enzo or an Andre Santos.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would be very pissed if we didn't get him.
Question: If we do get Xavi Simons, do you guys reckon he actually kind of plays that Gittins role? Like Gittins becomes like his backup in a sense?
That's what I'm hoping.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I've said it before, I think having him as the backup to Palmer is a waste of time because Palmer's going to play 90% of the games. So you're just buying. It's effectively the João Felix thing. I think he's better than João Felix. I'll say that much. But it's just a case of you're just buying someone to have them on the bench for like 90% of the season, outside of the cup games where you're obviously going to rest Palmer, and that's about it. But my hope is like you do what we just said. Bear with me. Yeah, you do what we just said, because then, like, it means you can have him up there. It means also, like I said, don't have to watch Garnacho. Win-win. But then also, it gives us the opportunity to go back to that like 4-2-2 kind of thing where you have the left back creating the width. Then it means you get a bit more creativity, or a bit more, not creativity as such, but a bit more unpredictability with Simmons in there than Enzo, I think, just because of his dribbling and natural ability to play in the pockets. So it just gives you an extra like outlet, or like an extra what's the phrase? Like another club in the bag.
Like an alternative option, yeah. I get you.
Yeah, because right now our only option, if we wanted to do that, is to put João Pedro on the left, and then Delap up front.
Yeah,
which like you could do, but then that's both of your strikers playing at the same time.
Especially when we're trying to get rid of Jackson too.
Yeah.
Let's actually bring this over to Nkunku then. Oh, I didn't actually have a banner ready for this. Yikes. Wah. So we got some news on Nkunku, and I don't know what Leipzig is doing, but they're teasing like this is a done deal, and I'll explain why in just a second as soon as I get this banner up. Here we go. So let's get into this. There's a few tweets I wanted to go over and get it off to speed with what's going on with Nkunku. So first tweet right here is just some more rumors that Inter Milan and Newcastle apparently have entered the race for Nkunku as of August 18th. We'll see if that's actually true and how it, plays out later in the window, because we still have a week and a half, I would say, right? Like a week and a half? How many? 2 weeks? No, we have like about a week and a half. Yeah, a week and a half left of the window. So a lot of action is going to be happening, and this channel is going to be very busy. We continue on. This is where things get spicy, right? So Leipzig. So this is about from about a week, 10 days ago. Leipzig aren't considering Christopher Nkunku as part of the deal for Xavi Simmons. Nkunku no longer fits into the salary structure as he earns 20 million per year. Simmons to Chelsea is still absolutely possible if they meet the 70 million pound demand. Nkunku is still planning to leave this summer with talks ongoing. Nico Jackson can also leave before the end of the window in case of important proposal. Follows exit. All right, we already talked about all this stuff with João Felix and all that. There is more confidence that Nkunku will depart. He is open to a return to Leipzig, but is commanding interest from other Bundesliga sides as well as clubs in Italy and the Premier League, like Inter and Newcastle. Christopher Nkunku emerges as a Bayern Munich priority target, replacing Kingsley Coman, which I didn't realize Coman went to. Where did he go? He just had a move. Al Nassr, thank you. So good for Coleman. Understand that a deal for, and this is Florian Plattenberg speaking, understand that a deal for Christopher Nkunku and FC Bayern until deadline day is possible, as revealed on our show yesterday. Much now depends on whether Bayern re-enter the race for Nick Woltemade. Nkunku is keen to join Bayern, but has many suitors. There was already a verbal agreement with Bayern in January, something Herbal loves. He can play as a 9, a 10, on the wing. Rebel Leipzig open for a loan. Chelsea and Nkunku want a permanent deal. And yeah, I mean, we stated that multiple times. We want a permanent deal. Exclusive. Bayern Munich have also opened up talks with Chelsea for Christopher Nkunku. TalkSport understands at the start of this window, Chelsea wanted just over £40 million, but an exit could be sanctioned for south of this number now. Chelsea are currently expecting £35 million plus add-ons for Nkunku. Talks are ongoing between them and Bayern. Christopher Nkunku is keen to join Bayern. However, much now depends on whether Bayern re-enters the race for Nick Woltemade. A deal for Nkunku and Bayern until deadline day is possible. Remember Nick Woltemade, people. Bayern and Chelsea keep talking over Nkunku even today. This is as of August 17th, so only like 4 days ago. Chelsea want permanent deal. Bayern response was, let's try and be creative. Maybe a loan with an option that could turn into an obligation. Something like this. Let's see next week, according to Fabrizio. And then we continue on. Negotiations between Bayern and Chelsea will continue until tomorrow. A current status is still no agreement. Bayern insistent on initial loan. Chelsea only want a permanent transfer, and Nkunku wants to move since January. Deal on, but no agreement done or close yet. Bayern and Chelsea remain in talks, and it's just repetition, the same thing over and over again. Personal terms are not an issue, and Nkunku is keen to join Bayern. The key factor is finding the right structure for the deal. It is understood that Chelsea are currently expecting €40 million plus add-ons. Nkunku has personal, okay, pretty much the same thing. And it also says here, it will be way easier for Chelsea to complete Xavi Simons' deal once Nkunku leaves. Chelsea's strategy, one player in, one player out. And then we have here, according to this source here, Bardi Julian and Build, and it looks like it was, to an extent, realistic or real, that the transfer of Nkunku to Bayern is at risk of falling through. Current trend, Nkunku will stay at London for at least another year. The news was delivered to Bayern from agent Pini Zahavi today after a meeting with the Chelsea bosses. From England, Ben Jacobs reports that talks are still ongoing. Chelsea told Bayern no loan. Bill denied this and say Bayern only want to sign Nkunku on loan, not permanent. Let's see what happens. So it's a battle of he said, she said. And then this, like I told you guys, remember the name. Bayern offered 60 million euros plus bonuses and a sell-on clause for Nick Woltemade, but Stuttgart rejected it, demanding 75 million euros, a price Bayern won't pay. Yeah, this player's price completely got jacked up. No one knew who the fuck he was, unless you're a Stuttgart fan, prior to this window. And now all of a sudden he's worth 75 million euro. Okay, that's interesting. I'll get your opinion on that, CP. So we continue on. Florian Plettenberg now in more recent news. In the past 24 hours, this was as of August 19th, right? In the past 24 hours, following the temporary failed transfer of Nick Woltemade, an internal plan has been made. Max Eberl is the focus on loan deals until deadline day. Is to focus on loan deals until deadline day. A move for Christopher Nkunku is therefore currently very difficult to realize despite the agreement of Bayern and Nkunku, as Chelsea have once again made it clear, only permanent deal. All parties are frustrated. Nkunku, Eberl, Freund, and company. As reported on our show tonight, Red Bull Leipzig are still in the race, and talks with Chelsea were never broken off. More teams are keen on him, not only Leipzig. And this is probably maybe what they meant before when they had mentioned how this deal is likely to now fall through because Bayern do not want to buy, they just want to loan. Funnily enough, Leipzig are in the same fucking boat. God damn it. So Leipzig's position on Christopher Nkunku has not changed. The interest is there. They admire him. And Leipzig remain in contact with Chelsea. However, a permanent transfer is currently ruled out by Red Bull. If anything, it would have been a loan deal. What the actual fuck? Are we in Italy? I'm sorry. Chelsea's stance remained clear. Permanent deal, or at the very least, a obligation to buy. And we go here to David Ornstein. Leipzig stepping up talks with Chelsea over a deal to sign Nkunku. Direct contact between club on permanent move for 27-year-old forward. Not close yet. Still other options, but France International open to Red Bull Leipzig return, according to The Athletic. And we ended with this. Red Bull Leipzig, on their social medias, posting about Nkunku and his time at Leipzig. So what the fuck is going on? Like, is the deal done behind closed door? Did you guys come with an agreement? I mean, CP, speculation glasses on since Ahmed's not here. What do you think is happening?
First of all, you know what? I'm gonna sound so elitist. I fucking hate poor clubs. I mean,
dude, it's Italy again all over. It's like, dude, you know what the fuck we want.
No, you know what I hate the most? Rich clubs who pretend they're poor clubs, aka Bayern Munich, aka Bayern Munich.
It's very true.
They just made a 60 million pound bid for Woltemade, got rejected, and then apparently they can only do a loan for Nkunku. They can't buy any more players, guys. We can only, even though they made a 60 million pound bid for Woltemade after they bought Luis Diaz. Mm-hmm. So now where did that money go? Where did that 60 million go? Why are they acting like they're poor again and they can only do a loan?
Yeah, it's
anyways with the Nkunku thing. I think it's gonna be a loan and it's an option that turns into an obligation if they hit certain targets. Yeah.
Oh boy, I don't like that though. I just want to get him off. Pause. Off the books. Yeah, I'm okay.
What? Disrespectful.
I need serious bids here. Would you be I don't think I'd be surprised if another club came and swooped in for him. Like a Newcastle, for example. if they just came in out of the blue and just swooped in for this. Considering that's the other thing too. Like, it's not like the price we're asking for is actually outrageous. I think part of what Red Bull is hesitant about is the wages, but I don't think the price is actually unreasonable. It's less than 40 million euros, I believe, is what we were reading earlier. Let me see if I can re-find this. Excuse me. Let me see if I can re-find this tweet. And it's so annoying because it's like you were saying, like, you just made a bid for this, this prospect, right? It's 40 million euros with add-ons, which is about 35 million pounds. It's not that expensive of a signing for that player. Like, we all know Nkunku's worth more than that. But he just hasn't had good seasons at Chelsea. It's just not been it's been kind of failed.
The club is our club. We're fine with even doing I think like even a 30 million with a sell-on clause, or 30 million with add-ons, or like even a 25 million but with like 20% sell-on. Like you've seen it during this. We had Veiga valued at 35 million. We sold him for 26 million, but with a 40% sell-on clause. There's similar rumors with Carney, Chukwemeka. So it's not like our club's not flexible enough. It's just Bayern apparently could afford money and then apparently can't. And you didn't even buy attackers. You actually sold Coleman to Saudi.
Yeah, you have the money.
So
you're not a broke club.
You bought Luis Diaz, and then you were bidding for Walter.
Yeah, and they spent how much on Luis Diaz?
70 million euros.
That's insane. So you're telling me you can't put down 35 million euros or 35 million pounds or 40 million euros with add-ons for Nkunku, who is worth more than that?
Yeah, and they literally were putting a bid for Walter for 60 million euros, which is like around 52 million pounds. So they couldn't even do 30 million pounds for Nkunku. What do you mean? What is this?
And correct me if I'm wrong, Walter is like a one-season wonder as of right now.
Yes.
One good season at Stuttgart, and you want to, like, you were willing to put down 60 million euros for him, but decided, okay, we're not going to do this because Stuttgart wants 75 million euros.
And isn't Nkunku your perfect Musiala replacement?
Yeah.
Play as a 10/second striker / kind of on the left at times, left mid. Like, what are we doing?
Like, Leipzig, I get to an extent, right? You don't want to pay the wages. Sure, you want a loan, so we pay the wages, or maybe you just pay the wages, you don't pay a fee, or maybe we help you out with the wages, and you get an obligation at the end of it, something, right?
Yeah.
But you just got rid of Coleman, who is probably not Leipzig. I'm now moving back to Bayern. Bayern just got rid of Coleman, who was probably on, and Gnabry, who both of them were probably on wages similar to what Nkunku's on. This is a relatively affordable signing, considering you just got rid of Coleman, right? And Gnabry. Did Gnabry go on a free, or did they get a fee out of him?
I think Gnabry was on a free, but Coleman was sold to Saudi.
Yeah, so they got a lot of money for that player. You freed up those wages, which you can then replace with the wages of Nkunku, who also isn't on crazy wages. It's not like he's on 300K. Like, I don't understand Bayern. Like, at least meet us halfway. You want the player. You wanted the player since January. And now it's cheaper than it was in January.
You want to know what Kingsley Coleman... I'm looking at his salary in Bayern.
Oh, Jesus fuck, dude.
He was on 326K.
What the fuck?
So about
Bayern.
You're looking at about 280 pounds. Okay, so even if you matched Nkunku, who's earning about 200K, you could have even increased his wages to 220. You're still making bank, right? You also got rid of, like I said, Gnabry, who was on 362,000 euros a week, right? And you're saving money because you increased Luis Diaz's wages, which he was earning at Liverpool. He went from 60 to, I think now he's earning 200K. So even then, you're technically saving 100. You're saving 130K a week on just Gnabry's wages.
Mm-hmm.
So why are they acting like they're broke?
Where do we go? Do we just send him back to PSG or something? Like, what do we do? Because it's crazy. Because you already know the Italian clubs, Serie A clubs, are not going to want to pay it. They're going to want a loan. Now you have Bayern and Leipzig and these clubs that, it's not just Nkunku. We'll talk about Carney next. Carney's another one they want a loan. Okay. Where do we go? La Liga?
Actually, sorry, Gnabry still they didn't get rid of Gnabry. Gnabry's in their books. He's still earning his 360. They just basically let go of Coleman, and Luis Diaz is earning Coleman's wages, but they're still saving some money.
Okay. Yeah. But regardless, like the amount of wages, they just let go of Mueller, right? They free up those wages, right? Mueller went on a free. They're no longer paying Mueller's salary.
Yep. Oh, that is, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right? Like, again, like, I don't understand. To me, you know what this looks like? I think it reemphasizes my belief that Bayern are still being run
Mueller,
like shit.
Mueller was on 288k euros.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at about 250 pounds, yeah?
Yeah. This
That's what I'm saying. I hate broke clubs, but what I hate most is rich clubs acting like they're broke clubs, man.
Yeah, it is wild to me. But yeah, let's actually talk about another broke club. Might as well while we're at it. Yeah. Not to sound petty or whatever, but yeah, I'm gonna sound petty. Let's talk about Carney and Anselmino, the Anselmino deals here going on. So we have a bit of an update on this. And Curry, if you do have to go, by all means, like, don't feel like you need to stay. I always say this.
No, I'm good. But I hate Dortmund.
Yeah, it's Bundesliga clubs, man. We're 0 for 3 with these guys. It's ridiculous.
So much, bro.
But anyways, let's get in on this. Earlier this month, we had news from Ben Jacobs saying that understand Dortmund are confident in bringing Carney Chukwuemeka back. Sebastian Kehl told me at the Club World Cup that all parties intent on making it happen. Although Chelsea and Leipzig have mentioned Chukwuemeka, the player has never opened the door or held direct talks. Understand Borussia Dortmund have reactivated direct talks with Chelsea for Carney Chukwuemeka. Negotiations ongoing between clubs to find a solution as Carney wants to move. Chelsea insists on a permanent transfer. Carney Chukwuemeka to Dortmund is getting closer. The deal could be done any moment. This is as of the beginning of August, and any moment meaning any moment in this month because it's not done. Chelsea have discussed a lower initial fee for Carney Chukwuemeka with lots of potential bonuses due to concerns at Dortmund over his injury history, which that makes sense. That's fine. I mean, I wish you guys gave us that same exact benefit of the doubt when it came to freaking Jamie Gittins, but no, you were stubborn and you insisted on your price and we respected that. But now when we're insisting on our price on Carney, you want to fucking do this bullshit. Oh my God, I'm getting mad just reading this. Dortmund are negotiating for Carney loan plus obligation to buy around 21.7 million, 26.1 million. The obligation could be live if Carney played a certain number of games. Chelsea remain very clear with all players interested in Carney Chukwuemeka. He is not available on a loan. Chelsea consider permanent sale. Juventus want to sign Carney Chukwuemeka on loan. What the actual fuck, dude? Like, get the fuck away from me. This is ridiculous. You can't make this up. Oh my God. I hate them, man. I hate these, man. Juventus, man. I didn't even notice I put that back to back in that order. It's just crazy.
I told you, man. All these men have money acting like they're broke again. What the
It's so stupid, bro. So Juventus have approached Chelsea about signing Carney Chukwuemeka. Chelsea continue to insist on permanent transfer. Carney is one of 3 midfielders Napoli are considering to make a move for, and they have started sounding out for him, according to Matty Moretto on Fabrizio Romano's Italian YouTube channel. We continue on. Carney has told Dortmund bosses that he is desperate to stay at the club. And in talks, he also indicated that he was disappointed by Chelsea's way of dealing with players and therefore no longer wants to play for the Blues, according to Sports Bild. Listen, Carney, if this is true, to an extent, I get where you're coming from, but bro, you've also not been fit. Let's be honest. You've been injury prone for so such a huge part of your career here at Chelsea. Your first season under Potter, yeah, Potter didn't give you much of a chance, but to be fair, you also were a little bit injured in that season, I believe, but also that season was horrible for everyone. The following season with Pochettino, you hurt your MCL. You were out for most of the season. You got play time towards the end. Last season, Maresca, you didn't play for half the season. You went on the loan in January, right? Maresca didn't rate you. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's not like you were always available to play either. Like, sorry. Like, it's just a little frustrating when, if that is true that he said that, that's like, all right, whatever, bro. Dortmund have lodged a new offer for Chelsea for Carney Chukwuemeka worth £20 million on loan with obligation to buy plus a heavy sell-on clause. Chelsea have immediately rejected, dude. This is ridiculous. Chelsea have immediately rejected Borussia Dortmund's bid for Carney Chukwuemeka. They are not happy at all with the loan with an obligation bid, describing it as insulting. Yeah, I don't blame you. Sky Cava on Carney Chukwuemeka. Chelsea would not consider a loan for him at all this summer. If anybody wants to sign him, they're going to have to sign him on a permanent deal, and offers will have to be close to his £40 million release clause. These are all kinds of offers that would be considered by Chelsea, and of course, it would need add-ons, and there would also need to be a sell-on clause for Chelsea as well, but he is not going on loan again. And breaking, this is where we bring in Anselmino. Dortmund have opened negotiations for Aaron Anselmino. Contacts are being made directly with Chelsea on a one-year loan is being negotiated. And a one-year loan is being negotiated as reported by Yuri Burger PJ. These are somewhat reliable German outlets. Let's continue on. Aaron Anselmino has agreed to join Borussia Dortmund on loan. Chelsea have told Dortmund they will only be able to get Anselmino if they sign Carney Chukwuemeka on a permanent basis. Checkmate. Aaron Anselmino already said yes to Borussia Dortmund loan. Carney Chukwuemeka strongly wants Borussia Dortmund. Chelsea informed Dortmund that Aaron Anselmino loan will only be possible if Chukwuemeka deal is permanent. And this is currently what is going on. And as of right now, Borussia Dortmund are now in advanced talks with Chelsea to sign Carney Chukwuemeka on a permanent deal, according to Fabrizio Romano. Ladies and gentlemen, we've finally made progress. Hallelujah. Wow. This club is a pain in the ass. This club is such a pain in the ass. But I'm glad Chelsea are standing their ground on this, because we do need to get rid of these players. We can't keep using up our international loans. We need to use those loans for Strasbourg. We need to use those loans for other players that we potentially want to send out and bring back to the club. But yeah, this has been a whole fiasco, and this has been going on all summer, and it's been really frustrating. I like Carney Chukwuemeka as a player, but unfortunately he's not been able to stay fit. So, I mean, he is what we wanted him to be, but now Cole Palmer. Well, wow, that's a dumb sentence. He's what we have in Cole Palmer. We wanted him to be our Cole Palmer, is essentially what I'm trying to say. But he couldn't stay fit the one season he was given a chance to do it, and he looked good. Don't get me wrong, that season he looked good. But now we have Cole Palmer. Now I'm relatively sure Cole Palmer is levels ahead of him, and I don't even think he suits the system that well. But I could be wrong. I mean, CP, what do you think in this situation for Carney?
He was basically Ruben Loftus-Cheek, but we saw lots of him. That's right.
You're saying Ruben Loftus-Cheek was more available?
Yeah, in the beginning, before the injury, because Carney barely played for us. He had like 15 appearances or something. Like,
is this true?
Ruben had a solid season with Sarri before that whole horrific incident.
Yeah.
So yeah, he basically less time Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Got the injury, has been able to stay fit. Loans hard to get rid of, and unlike Ruben, he's not even pure profit. So we're basically breaking even on him right now. Hopefully the sell-ins are good enough and he can stay healthy where we can make some profit. Just get this guy out of my club. He's just taking too much space and wages and whatnot. Not saying he's a bad player, just he's been so injury prone that he can't show us anything. So yeah, and I think we're basically folding to what Dortmund want. I bet you it's going to be like, instead of 20 million euros, it's going to be 22 million. But I hope the sell-on is like heavy, like 30 to 40%, like we did with the Veiga. That's the only way where it's like, okay.
Yeah, and maybe that is a deal we agree on. And I mean, since you well, actually, before I even move on, how do you feel about Anselmino going to Dortmund on loan? I think it's a good way to develop.
Who do they even have in their defense? Like who?
Not very many good players. I know not Marco Royce.
Sula's
Sula, yeah. I know Sula's there.
Slaughterback.
Yeah. I don't think Dortmund have a very good defense.
I don't think so.
Like, cause they could definitely bolster. Let me see.
Like, I'm trying to see this season squad.
Oh, did Bundesliga not start yet?
It's supposed to start.
I think Bundesliga starts this Saturday.
Yeah, that's why they're saying Xavi Simons is gonna play this weekend. So they have Sula,
Anton,
Emre Can, who plays center back at times. Slaughterback, Basami, who's like left back but can play center back at times. Jesus Christ, yeah, you're right. They don't have anyone.
No, they not. Yeah, they're very thin in the defense.
Yeah, he'll get game time. He'll get some game time.
Yeah, do you think?
Especially when Sula's so injured prone, yeah, he'll get game time.
I think it's a good loan because
they'll develop.
Listen, whether you think he has a future at Chelsea or not, I do think that for his development in general, I think a Bundesliga loan is actually not a bad shout because we know Bundesliga is heavy on the attack. So if he can be exposed to a lot of attack oriented teams and put in a shift and do well and really hone his craft, and he comes out of that season being one of the top defenders of the league, which could happen. Even if it's just like a top 10 center backs of the league for the season, I think that's progression and it gives him very good experience. And we've all said it before, like if you're a good center back in Bundesliga, well, at least I've said this. I feel like if you're a good center back in Bundesliga, it probably means you're a good center back in general because there's not many good center backs in the Bundesliga.
I'm trying to think with that logic. Akanji's worked out, been decent. Who else? Guardiola left back, but not a center. Yeah, you're kind of right. You for the Prem, yeah, because there's such a high line where
exactly
attackers look great because of the high line. So if you're decent there, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean Hummel's had a good career. He ended up there.
Boateng and stuff.
Yeah. Now we're seeing like Upamecano's got to kind of expose. He's got his bozo moments from time to time. He's not as.
That's always been there. Yeah. So. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully Anselmino can work out and he can have more cover in the center backs, and maybe we don't need to make too many because we know Chalobah is leaving next season after this one. Let's be honest. So maybe he can be a Chalobah replacement, and then Josh can be my Fofana replacement. So we only need one other center back because Disasi's gone. Hopefully.
Yeah,
so we
that'll
don't
be
have to purchase
an extra
much
topic
for our defense. We just can naturally replace them.
Yeah. Since you brought it up in terms of the Carney thing, and listen, once again, I'll reiterate this. Like, I wish Carney could stay at Chelsea. I think there's a good player there, but I think the players we currently have are better. And that's the thing. Chelsea are now a very competitive space.
And Xavi Simons has played more minutes. Same age, so sorry, buddy. Like, Xavi's playing way less.
Exactly. So, I mean, there's a release clause. Whoever wants him, pay him. And if he stays fit, you're getting a good player there. Right? He's no scrub either. But hopefully, if it does kind of go towards Dortmund's favor, like if we do play into Dortmund's hand a bit, hopefully a hefty sell-on clause. Because, and we're going to end it on this one. And I didn't mean to end it like this, but hey, it's how it played out. Veiga, here we go. Yes, and what a fucking deal this is. I think this is the best sale we've made under this ownership. I'm not going to... No, I take it back. Mason Mount. Mason Mount was. We'll debate this at the end.
And Jackson, maybe, depending on what the bid is for Jackson. Jackson might be.
Yeah. But so far, like, this is an insane sale. This club is, in terms of sales, this window has been insane. Very incredible. But all right, let's look into it. Veiga, here we go. Breaking. Chelsea are discussing internally to keep and reintegrate Renato Veiga after injury to Colwill. And Zareska has the final say, and this is according to Talk Sport. So we take it with a pinch of salt, and obviously they were wrong because we got recent news, obviously. Renato Veiga will not return to Chelsea's first-team squad despite Colwill's injury and is expected to be sold for a substantial profit this summer, according to The Athletic. Borussia Dortmund are once again considering Renato Veiga. They had already agreed to terms with him last summer. However, a transfer never materialized. Instead, he went to Chelsea, according to Sky Sports. Borussia Dortmund made an approach to consider a possible bid for Renato Veiga, but still deemed too expensive. His future remains open. Several clubs keep moving for him, according to Fabrizio. Now, we move over to the 20th, yesterday. Villarreal have agreed personal terms with Renato Veiga. Talks are very well underway with Chelsea, as exclusively revealed last week. The Spanish club is negotiating to agree on terms also with Chelsea. Current proposal is 24 million euros plus add-ons, trying to get closer to 30 million euro package. And here we go. Villarreal have sent formal bid for Chelsea to Renato Veiga. It falls short of Chelsea's expectations. Formal contract proposal is to Veiga. Also sent as dream target for center back position. The Portuguese defender is keen on a move, but difficult to agree club to club. Chelsea are advancing in negotiations for Renato Veiga to join Villarreal at £23.3 million plus a percentage of future resale, according to Edu Burgos. We see here, Villarreal have agreed a deal worth 29.5 million euros, including add-ons. Wait, let me see. What did they initially want to do? 24. Wow, we added 5 million more to the deal, which is actually pretty good. And honestly, it's not a bad price for the player. 29.5 million euros add-on and a heavy sell-on clause to sign Renato Veiga on a permanent deal from Chelsea. And here it is, ladies. Oh, no, next tweet. Renato Veiga has agreed personal terms with Villarreal. He is valued at around 34 million pounds by Chelsea, but there is hope in Spain that a deal could be done and struck for under 30 million pounds, according to Nazar Cancela. And here it is, people. Here we go. Exclusive. Villarreal agreed deal to sign Renato Veiga on a permanent move from Chelsea. Here we go. Agreement with player and also with Chelsea on 29.5 million euro package, add-ons included. Also, heavy sell-on clause. Record transfer fee for, Villarreal after exclusive story last week. Renato Veiga deal fee for Villarreal will be 25 million euro fixed fee, 4.5 in add-ons, and a sell-on clause also included. Medical on Thursday, which is today. Exclusive details. Renato Veiga will sign a 7-year contract with Villarreal until 2032. Chelsea have also secured a 40% sell-on clause. The total package is worth 30 million euros, including bonuses. Agreement between Villarreal and Chelsea is done with medical scheduled for Thursday, as per Fabrizio Romano. Another demonstration of Chelsea being extremely strong sellers is Renato Veiga joining Villarreal in a package worth 25 million pounds. He was signed for Chelsea for 12 million pounds last summer and only made one Premier League start for the club. Holy shit. This has been a really impressive sale. I can't believe they actually pulled this off. We should be investigated, but I won't keep promoting that. But guys, we've doubled our money and more, because there's a good chance. I do believe the player will do well at Villarreal. He will be a standout player, and a bigger club is going to want to go for him. And there will be an offer that Villarreal probably won't want to turn down, and we'll get a chunk of that offer, nearly half of it. Even if we get, let's say, I don't know, 10 million pounds of a sell-on clause out of that, because Villarreal decide to sell for 40 or 50, bruh, even if it's 50, nearly triple the amount we paid for this player. It's absolutely insane business. Prime, I don't know if you're there, but what do you think about the whole Veiga deal? Prime is not there. CP, what do you think about the Veiga deal? Prime just joined to be backstage.
Yeah, like like I like the pre-pause like flexibility they have with regards to they first wanted 35 million and they got 25, which is 10 less, but they're kind of making up with it because of the heavy sell-on clause, which will, I think, recoup that extra 10 million we want or more.
Yeah.
In the future, so that's a like a creative way to get what you want and for both parties to move forward. So yeah, and I think they might be continuing that with Carney and some other signings this window and maybe in future windows. This is like kind of the strategy of still getting the evaluation you want, but maybe in the future in a sense.
I think it's smart because it helps these clubs that are apparently don't have money, right? All right, cool. Then we're gonna take a chunk out of whatever you make off of the player. Then
because if this player does well, right? Even though we have a profit on, if he does well, like he was when his little stint in Juventus, and a major club comes in, probably in the Prem because they'll have the most money, and they come in and sign, then you guys can't act like, oh my God, we're still broke. No. You're gonna give us some of that change some of the profit you're making. So,
I think this is a fantastic deal. Like, this could be. Maybe I'll have a category for sale of the season. Nah, that's too cheesy. This is honestly, in my opinion, sale of the season. Sale of the season for Chelsea, at least.
It depends. If we sell Jackson for 60 million plus, then that's sale of the season because we bought him for basically 30 to 35 million.
So we'll double our money on that too. Yeah, that's another big one. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Prime, you there?
Damn. Man's being abducted by Death Eaters.
Wait, hold on. My mic. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Okay. You need a new mic, my friend. But yes, I can hear you.
No, I didn't turn my mic on.
Okay.
Why is the sale of the season? What's going on?
Because we bought him for £12 million. He's getting sold for £25 million, and we get 40% of the sell on that Villarreal decide to sell him on for in the
I
future.
didn't know that. Damn.
Yeah, dude, it's insane.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah, it's 40%.
That would mean that Villarreal would have to sell him for a crazy amount for us to like.
Which I think they could. I mean, the player's still young and developing. It's a 7-year contract, so he's going to be there for at least. I would imagine he's going to be there for at least 2 seasons.
How old
before they consider selling him? I think he's only 21, 22.
So yeah, if he gets sold when he's like 25, 26.
Yeah, he's 22.
Like about halfway through the contract.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, I rate Veiga. I think he's going to be a great center back. I rate him.
I think so too. Yeah. I think this is
the way Chelsea
a very,
do
very good deal.
Sorry.
What are you going to say about Chelsea's doing business?
The way we do business is scary.
Yeah, I agree.
It's amazing.
I think we're the best selling club over Liverpool.
By far, bro. By far. There's no one better
it's
than
insane.
us. That's why when I was on Mud Brothers on Monday, CP, I don't know if you were watching, and Speedy was trying to argue with me about Garnacho and that Chelsea should pay the valuation and like how is Madueke worth 52 and Garnacho is not worth the same. And I kept telling him, like, there's a lot that goes into a player's transfer value more than just their ability and their performances. If Garnacho was at Chelsea, we could get 50 to 60, but because he's at United and everything that's going on, you guys can't command that value. He wants to leave you guys. You guys don't have the authority to make us pay 40 mil. And unless you drop your valuation, we're not going to buy him for that much. And he was trying to argue with me about how he's just as good as, like, him and Madueke are the same, and Gittins is not better than Garnacho and all the price and whatever. And I'm like, whatever you say doesn't make a difference to me. I still stand by we're not signing him. Garnacho.
I kind of agree with you, to be honest.
Because
I don't think we're going to meet the evaluation that United want, and I don't think United's going to be satisfied.
They're not going to drop their valuation. We're not going to meet theirs. So and like I don't see, and Garnacho doesn't want to go to anyone else. So I don't, unless they're willing to unless Man United drop their valuation towards like deadline day or whatever. We don't, and we haven't even bid for him. So all this stuff about we want to get him, it doesn't make a difference. We haven't bid, so we don't even know.
Is it true that apparently Spurs are interested
In who?
in Garnacho?
Yeah, but that's rejected because Bayern also wanted him, and he said he only wants Chelsea.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is though, Prime, I think he only wants Chelsea because Chelsea are the only club that are actually interested in him. I feel like he'll twerk for fucking Spurs as well.
Nah,
if
because
this
Bayern
interest
wants
is real.
no,
Yeah, apparently Bayern wanted him.
and he
No, but he wants to
Bayern.
stay in England.
No.
That's what I'm saying with Spurs. Like, I feel like if Spurs actually are interested in him, he'll start twerking for Spurs.
Yeah, but
because he wants
Bayern's
to
a
stay in
better
England.
profile than going to Spurs.
Yeah, Bayern's like.
Yeah, but he wants to stay in England. He doesn't want to move out of England. That's the problem.
I guess.
But yeah, okay, but if that's the case, then he like Spurs, because Spurs would actually buy him like right now.
Yeah,
But he
they could use it. They fucking bottled it with Eze.
Yeah,
like,
they
from
wanted
his point of
Anselmino
view-
too. They
His
bottled
point of
it.
view, I don't get why he would want to come to Chelsea. You're not going to be a guaranteed starter, and you want he's not going to.
Yeah,
be
he
a
wouldn't. If we get Xavi Simmons, it's Gittins and him,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
you're
think
right, you're
Quendo's
right,
coming.
you're right,
too.
Even no, but even if we don't get Xavi Simmons, right? You have Gittins out there. Neto can also play off the left. Like you're not a starter. Just as of right now, you're not. And I don't believe you're going to be good enough to outmatch those two playing out on the left, even without Simmons coming in. You're not going to stay like if you sign now in the summer, you're going to be sent out within a year. I believe he'll be sold within a year or 18 months, and it'll be a waste, especially when it's a World Cup year for you. You need to play as much as you can. So coming to Chelsea doesn't make sense. You should be going to Spurs or Bayern because you'll actually start at those clubs. Coming to Chelsea, from his perspective, it doesn't make sense.
Diaz on the left wing. He's not starting.
Where?
Wait, would you? Oh,
We have Luis Diaz. He's not starting at Bayern at left wing. No.
yeah, he's not going to start over.
No,
Luis
yeah,
Diaz. That's a good point.
no, but you know what? He has a better chance of starting at Bayern than at Chelsea.
Yeah, because to an extent, if we do get Xavi Simmons for that left-hand side, there's also competition with Gittins for that left-hand side.
And I look at Bayern, like Coleman's been sold, Gnabry is shit, Sane's gone, Olise is injured, or not Olise, Musiala's injured. If you put Olise in the 10, Musiala, Diaz on the right, Garnacho can then start on the left. You have a better chance of starting there. Is my opinion. Is my point. Than you do at Chelsea.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
It makes sense.
Yeah, man. Listen, I agree with Prime. I think a lot of it is freaking, and to an extent, I think maybe the Enciso. This is my opinion. Maybe the Enciso signing is kind of a contingency plan if Garnacho doesn't play out, and if Bayern, I think it makes it so that now Garnacho becomes less of a priority because we have a potential left-sided attacker coming into the future.
Bro, it's like all this thing of we want Garnacho for the last month, and Enciso got signed out of nowhere. Like how much do we really want you when we're still trying to get Simmons done? We potentially might be going for a center back. Who knows? Because Colwill's out. I know we're not signing a goalkeeper, but we were linked to Donnarumma for like a week. Like we're linked to other players. We're not like, and we're trying to get other players. We're not trying to get you. Like. So this Garnacho stuff doesn't, I was worried in January we'd actually get Garnacho. I was genuinely worried. But as of right now, I have nothing to fear because we have too many attackers that play in your position.
But I'll also say this, and maybe you guys agree with me. Let me know. I feel that if Chelsea really wanted you, they would pay up. We saw what happens with Gittins.
Yeah, but we haven't done that for Simmons. But it's because of roster spots. It's literally because of UEFA.
To an extent, we have done it with Simmons. Like we met their evaluation to an extent.
Yeah, it's just roster spots.
We're not too far off of it.
No, we still haven't
wanted Garnacho, we would have placed a bid. We would know that Chelsea are looking to pay this much. But what got reported is Chelsea value Garnacho at no more than 30. That's what got reported.
Yeah, but what's also reported is Garnacho's a done deal and Simmons is dependent on Jackson and Nkunku. That was reported
We'll
again
see.
today by
No, but
Fab.
Garnacho's personal terms, as in he wants to come to
No,
Chelsea.
no, literally, it's like Fab put basically Garnacho's happening and Simmons is dependent on.
I'm having such a hard time believing
Bro,
Fabrizio
Fab,
anymore.
bro, all Fab does is tweet about Garnacho and Chelsea. I don't like.
Yeah, exactly. You could tell he's being paid big time.
Has he said anything about like what other personal terms are for us for Garnacho? Does he have a wage? Is there anything?
Yeah, but we never disclose our wages either. We never disclose that. And he's on chump change at United because he's an academy product. I think he's on 30K a week.
For me, until something changes or looks like it's gonna change, I have no reason to actually believe it's happening. I'll be honest.
Yeah. So. Next show, we'll have a Garnacho segment, and maybe something happens, but it's. I feel like the Garnacho segment is the same thing over and over and over again. So I gotta weed through it and clean out some of it as well.
I don't want to know next Sunday. No,
yeah, it's ridiculous, but
yeah, we have a game tomorrow. I forgot.
We have a game tomorrow. Yes, 3 p.m. my time, which is 8 p.m. UK time. Yeah. Are you still in the West Coast, CP, or did you come back to the East?
No, I'm in the West Coast for 2 weeks right now. So these 2 weeks, I'm back in the West Coast. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Also, one surprising thing is I don't know. Is this true that Fofana? I know he was on the bench last time. He's saying he's gonna be on the bench again. Is Fofana ready to be subbed on? It says Enzo Maresca has confirmed Towson and Wesley are both available for tomorrow's clash.
Probably to be subbed on Fofana. I can see Tosin starting for like maybe 60 minutes and then getting subbed off.
Yeah.
Because he was available in preseason. Just got like maybe a knock in training. Had to sit
Tosin,
it out.
Yeah. I'm just saying what's with Fofana, because wasn't he supposed to be back around October? I'm like, is he trying to rush this shit again, bro?
No, I don't think he's supposed to be back in October. I think Benoit is being slowly integrated back, and same thing goes for Lavia. He should be fit soon. Hopefully.
Yeah, Lavia said 19 days on his Instagram like 3-4 days ago. So
yeah,
probably after international break.
I really hope this is the last injury for Lavia. I'm not holding my breath, but I really hope.
Same.
I really hope, especially for Fofana. Fofana is the one I have no more leeway for. But speaking on tomorrow, just to end the show, we'll do a little bit of a preview. Listen, it's no disrespect to West Ham. I think this West Ham team is in contention to get relegated, to be honest, which is, I don't think that's going to happen, but they're going to get close. It's really bad what's happening at West Ham. Graham Potter, you have become a disgrace.
Hey Marshall, if you didn't know, man,
the goal changed the game.
That's what
Dude, the goal changed the game. Thank you, Graham Potter, for stating the obvious.
Dalai Lama or something. What is this man doing?
This guy's ridiculous, bro.
Like Buddhist ass, like Dalai Lama ass quotes. Like we're gonna be enlightened by like goals change games. Like goddamn, man, who knew?
This man's a joke. But listen, we should be able to beat them. I'm predicting a 2-0 victory for Chelsea. I'm not going to go overboard, but I feel like the midfield will open up a little bit more for us. I think we'll have learned from the mistakes of the last game. I think João Pedro still starts because I don't think the center backs at West Ham are going to be nearly as physical as the Crystal Palace ones. And it doesn't look like they're very well organized like Crystal Palace was. You got to give credit to Crystal Palace. Like they're a well-dressed side. I didn't know they were undefeated for the last 10 games, including the Shield, FA Cup, and Premier League matches. There's a reason they're in. I don't want to say like there's a reason they're in Conference League, but there's a reason they were in contention for Europa League until freaking Nottingham Forest knocked them out. But yeah, and I think it'll be a good performance for the team overall. I think Achimpong starts again. Actually, no. I think Tosin comes back into the side. And maybe we'll see Achimpong. Well, maybe. But yeah. CP, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
2-0. We're gonna get back on the João Pedro hype train. And you know what? Fuck it. Estebal's gonna start and get a goal. Let's fucking go, man.
No, that's a fair shout too. Estebal, yeah, I think Estebal definitely needs to start this game. And Prime, what are your predictions for tomorrow? Your overall thoughts, your preview?
Great. Yeah, I agree, Palm. I agree. Great points.
Yeah. The silence means victory. But all right, ladies and gents, we're gonna wrap it up here. Be sure to tune in for tomorrow. We'll be obviously we don't do watch alongs here, but we'll be analyzing and reviewing the game after the match. So that'll be around 10:15 UK time. So stay tuned for that one. Probably 10:30 UK time, honestly, knowing me. But yeah, obviously stay tuned for that. I am going to try to do an earlier show on Sunday for the Casually Chelsea show. And I'm hoping the Monday the 1st or maybe even August 31st, we do a predictions show. So we'll go over some of our howlers from last season, and then we'll make new predictions for this season. So yeah, a lot of stuff planned in the pipeline. Stay tuned. Hit the bell notification so you're notified whenever we do go live. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit the like if you haven't done so already. And big up to you guys in the chat. Thanks to you guys. Let me just double check our numbers here. I believe we have finally hit 3.6K. So big up to you guys. You guys have been helping the channel grow. Let's keep it going. Let's keep the momentum up. We were doing good earlier before I went on break, and let's just keep it going, especially going into the season, because we're going to have match reactions. We're still going to do the Casually Chelsea show. There'll be more content and more guests available as well on the show. But yeah, definitely stay tuned. Definitely subscribe to the channel because there's plenty of content to be had here. And hopefully we make your workday easier if you are listening to this at work the day after or whenever you're listening to it after the live and all that stuff. But yeah, hit the like, helps out with the algorithm tremendously. We're at 60 likes, so big up to you guys. Thank you for getting us over 50. And yeah, we'll be back again tomorrow to react to the game. And Sunday, I believe I'm going to do an earlier version of the Casually Chelsea show because I do have a gig later that night. It won't be that much earlier, but it'll be early enough where I'll be able to do both, obviously. But yeah, big up to every single one of you. We're going to raid out to American Waffle. I believe he's still on. Yeah, he's still on. Probably going to wrap up soon, but hey, go check them out. Go support those boys there, except for Jacob. Jacob's a fraud. So copy and paste the raid message, which is not showing up because... Oh, there it is. There it is. Jacob is a fraud. And also, Jacob can hold that L because his team bottled it for Eze. So remind him that he's a bottle job. So you can copy and paste the raid message or just say bottle job Jacob in the chat. But big up to every single one of you guys. I appreciate you guys. And we'll see you tomorrow for the reaction to West Ham, which will be a victory. All right. Have a good night, guys. As always, stay casual. Peace.
Watch out.